Brett Perigo, tonight's second place finisher. Plenty of fans here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terror Boys over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with, talk to. I really like them.
How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm talking here. You know who you're talking to? Macho Man! I'm on my way to Monday Night Raw.
To the second one.
Your choice.
It's a trap.
I feel like it is. I feel like he's setting up fights in the front stretch is what he's trying to do.
Speedway. We've got Devin Borden with us.
At Keen Motorsports Shop here with Kyle Keen.
Sitting here with Sean Keen. We're going to talk a little bit about racing history.
Yep.
April 15th, 2024. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. We got a great show for you tonight. We got Ashley Cappetta back again to talk about the Weldon Sterner Memorial that's coming up this weekend. $20,000 to win, 410s, and also a bigger payday for the 358. We're going to talk about that. We're going to recap BAPS yesterday, a banger of a race at Port Royal, everything else that happened this past week, and also take a preview of other races that are happening this upcoming week. You know the deal. Also, something cool that Ashley is doing, when we bring her on, is she will be taking a random fan that puts their comments and questions in the chat tonight. So if you're listening to this live, please make sure you're in the chat. Be active tonight and get yourself in there for a chance to win a prize giveaway. So we'll talk more about that here in a second. But fellas, how are you guys doing?
Awesome, man. What a great weekend. Obviously Friday didn't work out here for Williams Grove, but Saturday we got some racing in. We got to see some racing Sunday. I don't know if I ever remember the Northeast being this windy this many weekends in a row in my life. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it so windy all the time lately? Maybe I forget every year, but man, I couldn't believe it. I thought Sunday we were going to get a break from it, and we did not get a break from the wind. But great weekend. It was nice to have the sun out. What is my audio off?
No, you're good.
Mine doesn't feel like it's off. Braden, it's your internet, like your computer and your iRacing speed. But get good, fella. No, great weekend, Chris. How was your weekend, buddy?
Had a great time. Got back to the racetrack there Sunday. Had a great day, all day long. Adventurous day, but great day with Jimmy and company.
Try turning the mic.
Got to see some friends.
Other way. So you're looking. There you go.
This way.
Oh, that's so much better.
Fancy technology. Jimmy gave me this new toy to play with, and I don't know how to use it. So I'm going to do this the rest of the show.
Still don't sound like you're talking to the tin can anymore. So that's an upgrade.
Yesterday was hella fun. We saw a lot of friends, both in all divisions. sprint cars, wingless sportsmen's. It's kind of my job now. So enjoyed it. And hi, Ant. I see you in the chat.
What's up, everybody? Hey, thanks for chiming in. Man, that's a cool thing for Ashley. Get us some exposure and get some comments going in here. Start the discussion tonight, and hopefully, one of you guys are gonna guys or gals leave with a gift tonight. I believe, right? So pretty cool.
I'm not scared of the rain. All right, before we go back and talk about this past weekend, let's look forward to this weekend. Big race. Let's bring her on, Ashley Cappetta. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
And listen, you're you're an elite company, one of the few guests to be on twice. Okay, so talked about it in the fall. We were ready to go for the Sterner. Obviously, it got postponed. Let's do a refresher, right? Because I don't remember all the details. You have a million things that you've worked on, put together for both drivers, fans, and everything else. And then what has the winter been like leading up to it? Has there been more work done? Where are you at with everything?
So what we've actually have been working on is a few things with actually one of my racing sponsors. I can't give those details yet because we're waiting to finalize on their end what they can do. Unfortunately, like the person, nothing has changed, and the reason like none of that has changed is because we decided to do a second race in September. So we kind of just wanted to take the one that we have now and just leave it alone. I don't know how much the second one this year is going to pay out, just because we kind of want to see how this race goes, because I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a sponsor and saying, hey, do you want to sponsor the one in September? Well, you didn't even see the one that was supposed to be last year yet. So I wanted to, hopefully everything works out the way that we have it planned, and the sponsors are happy, the fans are happy, and it'll just be easier for me to say, okay, can you come back for September? So the fan zone, we're still doing that. The only thing that's different about the fan zone is we're not doing the excuse me, the track or treat deal, because obviously we're not in the fall. If Easter would have been like after this weekend, it would have worked out. But there's going to be some other things that I think will make up for that. Hopefully my sponsor, just going to cross my fingers that everything goes well with that. I'll probably know by the middle of the week what they're going to do. They're going to set up behind my car. I just don't know what exactly they're going to do, but it's going to be something for the fans. Chad Trout's going to have giveaways, $2 off coupons still at his trailer for 100 fans, and then I'll have $2 off at mine. Van will be signing autographs in the fan zone, and Chuck Reiner. Then all the drivers that are supposed to be there. I know we're going to open the at 2:30 for the drivers to have like an hour to get parked. So I'm hoping a lot of drivers come and be a part of this, because as long as I've been around racing, I do not, excuse me, remember Lincoln ever opening the pits to have fans come in and, see that side for free. So I'm hoping that a lot of drivers take that opportunity, because after the races, I mean, if it's late, people don't get to go in and see the drivers, because most of the 410s are gone by the time we're done. So I'm just hoping that a lot of drivers come out and be a part of it for the fans.
So with this also being a 358 show, are you going to even have time to race a race car?
Yeah. So I actually made like a model plan of what I need to do and how, and I kind of have everybody kind of designated to like spots and things. So it should be okay. I mean, God willing, like nothing, I'm not even going to put it out in the universe. Everything should hopefully work out.
Right.
So I have like somebody that's going to come with me. I'll have so all the drivers that win the heat races will get $100 bonus. So we got like little boards and stuff that has like the sponsors on them. So I have a photographer that's going to be with me pretty much, that all we have to do is go up, give them the board, give them the cash. And then, so pretty much I'll be working on stuff with that, with like the photographer, and then I'll end up in the tower probably for like half of the 410 feature, if not most of the 410 feature. So I can go down in victory lane quick, do that ceremony with them, and then just walk across the track and hop in the car. So I told my crew, I said, you have one job this weekend, and that's to make sure, we communicate what the car needs. I'll get in the car, do what I got to do, and then I'll probably be doing something. And it seems like everybody's on the same page, so it should be okay.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was a topic last week, and probably not in necessarily a great way, when Lincoln rescheduled to Sunday, right? They moved the race to Sunday, and they cut the URC 358s off the show, made it a 410 only show, and the admission and the gate was the same. What's the admission here for general admission this weekend? And with all these other things going on and $20,000 to win, I expect it to be fairly hefty. I didn't look it up. What is the admission this week?
So for I apologize. I did tell these guys before this all started, I've been sick for like 3 weeks with some kind of sinus allergy stuff. I finally got a prescription today. So if I'm coughing, I'm really sorry because it is a pain in the butt. So it's going to be $30 to get in for admission. And, I had some people like upset about it today. And I'm like, look, there's people speculating that Lincoln Speedway did not help us at all. And that's definitely not the case. They did help us. They extended the purse from 2nd through 24th. So they did help us. Pat and I decided ourselves to add to that. I forget what the total amount is that Lincoln gave, but it was a huge chunk of change, and people just don't realize that. Pat and I and all of our sponsors did do a lot of work, but Lincoln Speedway, especially Emily Winslow, has helped us a ton to get all the stuff out there, promote, and, put everything on Lincoln's page. Behind the scenes, she's given, a lot of advice and different things. So, and Jerry has been helpful as well, believe it or not. I know a lot of people have views with him, and, he has been helpful. So everybody's like, oh, it's $30 to get in. Well, I just looked, and Friday night at Williams Grove is $25 to win for $25 to get in for an 8,000 to win show. So for $5 more, you're going to see 40 laps, 2 open wheel divisions, a fan zone over, I'd say, well, with the bags alone that we're giving away with the goodies in it, there's probably, I'd say, with the t-shirts, the footballs, everything that we're doing, there's probably over 1,200 giveaways going out at Lincoln on Saturday. Plus what potentially might happen with my sponsor and stuff. So there's a lot of different things for $5 more that you're going to get. Yes, it sucks. The economy sucks. We all know that. But any given show that's this big, you're going to unfortunately have to pay that price. Do I agree to pay $30? No, but I don't have the choice. Pat don't have the choice. And this is just what it is, unfortunately. But I'm hoping it doesn't steer too many people away. Cause like I said, we have the tote bags full of different goodies. We have the fan zone with different giveaways and hits to start. We have the t-shirt toss. We have the football toss, Chuck's Auto Parts Solutions. He's doing the cornhole tournament that you can win cash. There's custom set of boards, a Brian Monteith trophy, and then 5 people that catch the top 5 drivers' footballs get $100 cash. So there's a lot of stuff that will be going on at the track for $5 more than what Williams Grove is. And this is not to, bash Williams Grove, because they got to do what they're going to, what they need to do as well. But, everybody sees 3-0 and people get upset. I mean, I see drivers selling t-shirts for $30 and hoodies $50, but people are buying those. So it's like, I don't know. If I was I am a fan before I'm a driver, I would go and support, not just because I'm helping promote this, but because everything that's going on, you don't want to see people like myself or Pat say, well, this support was awful. We're not going to worry about doing this big of a race and do all this extra stuff if we don't get the support. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's obviously, there's a lot of time and hours put into this. And I'm excited to see it all come forward, but I'm really hoping we have the fan support. It's not just for the fans. Obviously the drivers deserve that extra pay, both classes. But you got to have good fan support to make it feel like and a good car count to feel like all your work was appreciated. And
Uh-oh.
Cut off.
I think she hit something on her phone. I'm sure she'll be right back.
Perfect time for a segue and a break. Chris, go ahead. Actually, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say she
I
says a
don't
lot
know
of
what
things that I
happened.
think are
hit something on my phone and it just went.
happens. It happens. No, it's just, she touched on a lot of good things there that are important. Like she spent, I know last time actually we had you here before the last event that was supposed to happen. You already put 6 months worth of work into it, and now we're almost 6 months later doing it again. So you almost a year amount of work you and your teams put into this. You have drivers and fans that want racetracks to do more. You and your team have done that. If they can't show up and support that, then why bother, right? Why bother if you're Lincoln Speedway, if you're Williams Grove, do anything for race fans if you're not going to get the turnout anyway, right? And it's $10 more than a weekly show, whatever it is. It's a big race. It's $20,000 to win. It's a major event. That's the point of this event. Is a major early season race. The way it worked out. So I was like $30 to me. It's just part of it. Like, it's still a lot given back to the fans that they would not get for paying $20 on a regular show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I even look at it this way, that what really came to my mind is not just the fans supporting it just because you should and there's all these things going on. Imagine the drivers, the way they've raced this year for $5,000 and $6,000. What kind of show are we going to get for $20,000 on the line? And you got Freddie and Troy and Danny and, Borden said they're going to pick and choose. I don't know if they're running for point support, so they might end up at Lincoln this weekend. You get these guys that are going to go out there for $20,000, and you're not going to have these huge invaders, right? They're all going to be out on the road. So it's going to be our guys supporting most of our guys local going after it for $20,000. Like, if you can't come out to watch for that, what are you going to watch? Not just what Ashley's done to give back to the fans, but holy shit, if I'm out there racing for $6,000 one week and I'm willing to throw a slider and wreck a guy or take a shot at it and say it's winner to wear it kind of thing, what the hell are you going to do for $20,000? So, points aside, man, that's a big payday for April. And man, I'm excited for just that. The hype over what are these guys willing to go do to win this race? That's exciting to me.
And even then, like the start money, teams talk about start money, and you guys have spread that money not only just from the top all the way down. So if you're a race team, you're like, we need fans in the stands to sell merch. Well, go support people that are promoting a race to get fans in the stands for one, and you get the start money to also help your own cause. So there's no one here unless you have a good reason. I know Marie Beasley, she's got to go softball, won't be able to make it. We understand that kind of stuff. But if you're willingly choosing not to go there, you better have a good reason, or else I don't want to see you complaining in any comment sections on Sunday morning.
Yeah, the payout's actually good. I mean, as best as what we could get it to. That's what I was sitting here looking at. So the 358s will start at $225, which is $100 more than what we normally get on a Saturday night. And then with what Lincoln added 2nd through 24th, it'll be $875 to take the green. So with what Lincoln helped us with, we added an extra $175, 12th through 24th, and then $100 from 11th up to 5th, because I focused on the bottom. I didn't focus on the top model. I mean, obviously we're given $20,000 to win, but you have 23 guys that get a lot less. So I focus on the guys like I don't want to use anybody for an example because I don't want somebody to feel offended or feel a type of way, but just say somebody that doesn't have like a Danny Dietrich budget. No offense to Danny. I mean, he has a good car owner, like a Devin Borden or a Troy Wogman, where they have good equipment and can do different things that, somebody else like a Trey Hivner, where he doesn't have the same budget as those guys. So he might be a little bit more careful. So when you think of guys like that and start at $875 and work up the whole way, I feel like that's just as important as the guy running. And I know some people are like, well, what about 2nd and 3rd? Well, I'm sorry, nobody's going to run 2nd and 3rd for a $20,000 to win race. So,
right.
So
right. If you're 2nd or 3rd and you're there to win, right?
Right.
You're
So
not the crowd we're aiming for here.
Right, and there's an extra bonus for 2 positions. I can't announce that yet because I think they want to announce that on Saturday. But there will be 2 spots that will be getting an extra bonus money. So throughout the field, I don't know if they're going to announce that for the 410 feature, but I think it's going to be pretty cool with that as well.
So, Matt Campbell, if you're watching or listening, do you hear that? Are you going to throw the slider this week? If it's for the win, Matt, are you going to throw the slider this week? That's what I got to know. Matt probably doesn't have enough signal to watch this, but I hope I'm going to send him a copy of the video, and I want to know if Matt Campbell will be willing to throw the slider this week for $20,000. So,
anybody that has a chance probably would.
That's what I'm saying, right? So I'm there for just as much as all the stuff that you're giving back to the fans, as much as these guys are. They're going to put it on the line, to get after it. So, I'm fired up about it. 40 laps is a long race. We in Fred Putney we trust, right? He's going to have it ready to go, and it's going to be good for 40 laps. Maybe the heats aren't going to be great again. Who knows what the weather is? Whatever. I'm there for the feature. 40 laps is anybody can win from anywhere. So. It's time trials. What is the format? Are we doing? Do you know if they're going to do like 1 car at a time, 2 at a time, 4 at a time, and then what's the format after that?
So it's supposed to be what the all-star format is. So that's what we were supposed to do last year. And then the 358s, we only had 1 race. It's going to be a redraw type situation, which don't get me started on that. With our pill draw luck, but it'll be okay. Whatever it will be, it will be. Like the first week, I was sick and I started dead last and got up to 3rd, made the invert, so it'll be okay. If I can do that sick, I should be okay, not sick. I did see that somebody asked in the comments about event merchandise. We will have event merchandise off of turn 4, where so there's going to be 2 spots for merchandise Saturday. Where the Outlaw guys normally set up, there will be some of the merch vans and t-shirt trailers down there because we won't probably have enough room for everybody depending on who's coming. But ours will be off of 4. It'll be my merchandise and the Sterner stuff off the same area that we set up the first week that we ran. So we will have that. Plenty of it. So that's actually what I'm wearing right now is the memorial shirt. Actually, let me hang on. I can grab another shirt to show you the back.
And while you're doing that, are there going to be any cars done up this year for this event in the Sterner 69 schemes, or maybe yours?
Yes, I will have it. Chad Trout will have it.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So I definitely want to
thank
them for offering to do that for us because we didn't have anybody that came forward, and Randy, Chad Trout, our owner, offered, and that meant a lot to have somebody offer to do that. Justin, 358 time in hot laps. I've suggested that for a long time, but nobody listens.
I think, I like what BAPS does with that, to be honest. The group hot laps, I really like that a lot over the handicapping and or just a random draw. Do it in the groups, kind of like BAPS has been doing it. I feel like Lincoln, a lot of times that first group has a pretty big disadvantage. It's usually pretty slow. So, if you're in the first half of that first group, that could be a little bit of an issue. But other than that, man, by the time they're going, it is all equal. In 358, you could probably put 8 of them on the track at a time, kind of, if you did the groupings right.
Yeah.
But I think there could be some creativity there for that division. I think you all would like a change up there versus the luck of the draw and or a couple good races and you're stuck in a handicap. So and who knows what the track's like in a heat race. So Chris, Jimmy, what do you got?
Go ahead, Jimmy. Why don't you hit some fan questions? A lot of comments, a lot of questions. Go ahead.
A lot of them coming in. First, I do want to point out Troy Savage here, guys. If Matt Campbell wins, he could probably get me airfare to PA to cut the mullet. If you didn't listen to the podcast last week, we had Matt on, and Troy's from New Zealand, and we were talking about if he won something about cutting his mullet off and him coming over for that. So definitely, if he wins this one, he should definitely think about it. Well, first here, let's go with Santos. I'm curious, have you ever thought of doing a tribute car for Hodnet with how big of a Hodnet fan you are?
I've thought about it, but I feel like Greg really wasn't that big of a fan of Lincoln. I can't remember what the reason was, but he was a big port guy. So I feel like if I ran port, that would make a little bit more sense. If Lincoln would do something for Greg, absolutely. I actually said to my dad the other day about if one of these years we'll do like kind of like a scheme like the Apple car, but obviously like run my number. But it feels if I did something like that, it would be something that I would talk to like Mike Hefner, Sherry, because the Apple car was always my favorite. But I just feel like there would be a lot of people involved. Maybe in the future, but right now it's not really something that I just like we've talked about at this point.
A lot of comments here. A lot of people putting in here. They see the work that you're putting in. It's getting recognized. They're there, and they really love what you're doing. So there's a ton of them in here, which is great. I want to know: is there? I don't want to say the R word. I know you said they're doing something in September, but is there a contingency plan if something were to happen on Saturday?
We didn't really talk about it yet because we're just trying not to put that in the air.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy.
I know Sunday wouldn't be an option because isn't somebody running Sunday?
Sealands is running. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So I definitely wouldn't be that type of person to run against that, especially since it's their opener. I'm assuming.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I guess we would have to sit and figure that out. But I know we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that we can get the show in. But at the same token, Jerry and I both said tonight, what if we're in a situation where the rain's like if it is supposed to do any of that, you also don't want to have an unsuccessful event because of weather. So it's like, so we're just hoping, we're praying to Weldon Sterner that he helps us, chase all the rain away.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. But I did want to ask that question just in case. Is it 2,000 to win for the 358s on Saturday? Asked Tyler.
No, it's 1669 is what we decided. We focused more on building, the purse instead of the winner's share. Not that the winner's not important, but with the paid heat races and the hard chargers and all that stuff, we just figured. I mean, yeah, I know we only win 1,100, but we add 500 on and worry about everybody else through the field because normally we get 125 a night. Which is not much of anything. So I felt like it was more important to focus on that instead.
Chris, you got anything?
Well, I want to go back here. Something that Troy Savage said earlier that caught my eye. Talking about the ticket price, and I know we touched on it some. So he's from a different place, and it goes back to we're talking like PA where we're a little spoiled. Over there, it's $50, whatever that equates to in New Zealand. But we're spoiled here. All of our races week to week are $20-$30 tops, unless it's an outlaw show, nationally sanctioned race. Like it's kind of interesting to see a guy chime in from all the way over in a different continent and then be like, yeah, it's $50 a night, and we don't pay anything like that. It's like, okay. I guess my question, actually, I know before I asked you about promoting more, and you're like, no, hell no. But it's something you're passionate about, obviously. So when the racing days are over, whenever that may be, is this something you want to pursue? That kind of piggyback on the Hodnet thing. They do a lot of Greg Hodnet Foundation stuff for his races. Would that be something you want to get a part in, just because you're so passionate about racing as a whole?
Yeah, I don't know how much long. Well, I don't really plan to retire like this year. I know next year it sounds like we're definitely gonna go again at it next year. I just know I don't know what the future of the 358s is. With the shortage of the head deal and going to aluminum, like I don't know, like 360s or what's going to happen with that. So Unfortunately, I have thought, what am I going to do in the future? I know I don't have a budget for a 410. So unless somebody comes up with a big checkbook, I would love to take on promoting. I like to help other people. I'm very passionate, obviously, about the sport. So it's like, I would love to do it. And
that's kind of why I asked that, because you're passionate about it. And you're thinking outside. You're thinking in a way that's different than the promotion we've had. Not calling anyone out, just like you talk about racetrack promotion. Everyone's kind of gotten, I don't know, kind of sucked into the book or the old school way. And you and your team are thinking outside the box. And I think it's good for sprint car racing. And the more experience you have doing it, it's only going to make you even better at it. So I would love for someone like you to stay involved in any capacity. I mean, obviously racing, number one, but we don't all live forever. So at some point, racing is not an option. So how do you stay involved? And I would love to see you as maybe like an Alan Chrysler level promoter. Like, I think you have that eye for the business, and I want to keep that involved.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. I mean, it's definitely something I've been told by a lot of people since doing this. So it is something that I would enjoy, and it is something that I've thought about. Obviously, if I'm not racing, it's something that I could take on. I think it would definitely be something cool. Sitting in like the promoter side of things, like since I've started this deal, I did not realize like all the headaches that they have to go through. Like, of course, all of us get on the internet and be like, oh yeah, they should have did this, or, oh, why did they do that? It makes a lot of sense. I mean, some things I still kind of like, I don't agree with, but there's just some things where you're stuck. Either way, it's a double-ended sword. So yeah, I would definitely enjoy to do it. What kind of helped me with this race, I think, is with me doing our fundraiser that we do every year. I kind of took with some of the stuff that we do in our fundraiser and kind of like put that and flipped it and kind of thought, okay, what do fans like? What would make fans feel special? I mean, obviously, it's not like you could give everybody a gift card, or something like that, or cash coming in the gate, but something to make them feel like they actually matter to be there. Because I remember when I was a kid, like we had Pepsi night and they gave out like bottles of Pepsi or cans of Pepsi and like different stuff. Kids night when I was younger was completely different than today's kids night.
And bouncy houses and everything at Wieners Grove, man. Like, it was wild.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you just think of like all the different giveaways. Like I remember Hoosier giveaways and stuff like that when I was younger. So it's like everybody likes something free, no matter what it is. I mean, you could give somebody a pen that says Sterner Memorial on it and they'd be like, oh, I want a free pen. So you just think, luckily we had some great local companies. Our presenting sponsor, Chuck's Auto Parts Solutions, help out to give stuff for the bags. Gettysburg Trading Post, where I sell my antiques at, they helped pay for the bags, for the fans. Snyder's of Hanover, they stepped up and, gave some pretzels to put in the bag. So I think it's important to have those type of things for fans to, a little snack in the grandstands, nobody will be upset about for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Follow-up question. So I saw you looking for peeps. You had a bunch of peeps.
Yes.
I have more peeps though. So I will bring some, or maybe I'll give them to Jeremy. I don't know if I'll make it or not. Either way, there's still peeps I have just for you.
Oh,
just in case you need some stale peeps.
Peeps.
Jimmy, any more questions coming in?
Yeah, we got a couple more. For Scooter here is coming up from North Carolina on Saturday. What time does everything start?
So the fan zone will begin at 4:00. I know the pit gates will open for drivers only 2:30 to 3:30 to get everybody parked. But the fan zone will open at 4, and I think they're going to open the grandstands as well at 4:00. But obviously, if you want to save the $2 off, like I said, Chad Trout and myself will both have coupons at our trailers to give you that $2 off. So it'll be $27. $28 to get in, instead of 30. And I know it's only $2, but hey, that's 200 fans that will get some extra dollars off their, and I think, time trials, I think we proposed for 6:30.
Cody Ryder here. Are rain checks good for this race?
Yes, they are. I saw Lincoln commenting back to people. You can use it. I don't know if there's going to be an upchart. Like, you know how in the past, if you had a pit ban and it was more, I don't know if that's a thing. I didn't ask. I could find out. But that's something that I know you can use the pit ban for this weekend.
Santos asks, if you were in charge of weekly 358 racing, what would the first thing you change to make the product sustainability better?
Definitely the pay would be one of the first things that I would change 100%. I'd wipe that pill draw crap out of there and do timed hot laps situation, maybe do some time trial shows to, if you're going to go to a 410, you need time trial experience. So what better way? Most guys start in a 358 and then go to a 410. In my entire career of 12 years I've been racing, I've had one time trial show in my life, and that was at Lincoln. I'm pretty sure the first year I started. So I feel like that would be a huge thing that I would definitely change is the pay and the format 100%.
Scooter said he'll be there by 3. So that's awesome. That's cool. You're getting people from out of state to come in for this.
That's
goes
great.
to show how good of a show this is going to be and how much work you're putting into it. Is paying off here.
Oh, I have one thing I'd also change in 358s. Actually, I'd change it for any open wheel. In my opinion, if it's a pill draw show and you're just starting, you should not be allowed to pill draw for 3 to 5 weeks. Just because, it's not just against the drivers.
Is that like a rule that used to be a thing? Like your first races, you had no choice. I know, like Craig Perigo said, like he was just starting out. No matter what he did, he had to start the last rows until they deemed him worthy.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of important. It's respect. I mean, when I first started, I started in the back every week, and I started at Trailways. As soon as I got lapped, it's quick to get lapped at Trailways, but as soon as I got lapped, I got off the field. Like, I did not stay out there. I did not start up front until I had Brad McClellan and Jeff Rurball's blessing to give it a shot. And I was like, I don't know. But they said, you got to try it. So I did. But I just feel like a lot of these kids today don't have the same respect as back in the day. And I just feel like that's something that should not be allowed in any series. You could start next week, Jay-Z, and you could draw the one, and you could start up front, and you could wreck everybody in that heat race. Like, I'm not cool with that.
Between the three of us, he has the best shot of not wrecking everybody. So there's that.
I saw somebody Santos asked about the 3x5 and the 5x5.
Yep.
Personally, I'm a 3x5 person. I know they're goofy as heck looking, but honestly, I think we had better racing in the 358s with the 3x5. I don't care what anybody says. When we ran 360 with the 3x5 against the 360s with our 3x5 wings, I could start in the back and just pass them. Like it was easy. I missed the 3x5. Like I said, they're goofy as heck. But I feel like it made better racing for the 358s. And I know some people are going to argue. I think, honestly, some guys like the 5x5 because of the stability. But it's okay.
We all like training wheels, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I was going to say, put the 3x5 on the 410 and you can do all this Wickerbill stuff to death. It doesn't matter anymore.
At least a dish would be nice to at least allow us to have a dished, wing for a 358. But it is what it is. We all adapt and moved on, and it is what it is now.
I personally love goofy wings, so it's fine.
I think Ashley Cappetta to the 410s to run Port weekly would be, that's the ticket. Put a 410 in it, go Port racing every week in 410 and put a hot net scheme on it. I'm in.
That would be cool. I don't know if I'd be the one banging the boards, though. I'd probably be like Lance, kind of around.
Yes, you would be. You're right. Yes, we know.
It's okay.
I would not be a board banger.
And that's
Right.
perfectly fine. That's where I would be too. I'm
Hey, I
with you
did run the
100%.
top at Lincoln the other week when I ran in the feature, and my cousin said to me when I came in, she's like, "Were you definitely were sick out there because you did not go up there." I said, "Well, I was getting frustrated because there was like 2 or 3 of them. It was 2 of them that was on the bottom, and I was like, I couldn't get around them, so I just got frustrated and tried to move up top, but I just didn't. It just didn't work because the guy slid in front. One of the guys slid in front of me and took my line away. If he wouldn't have took that away, I would have had both of them. But it's all good.
Look at you passing in the heat race and running the top. It's like a new Ashley Cappetta. I love it. Let's go.
Nate says, Kenny Schrader raced wings shaped like cream pies.
Nate was trying to steal me yesterday. He was hitting on me and everything, man.
Oh my god.
I thought about it, Nate, though, but my date was hotter than you. Sorry.
Brandon
So
Zerk.
it was a date? Okay, got it.
Oh,
It is
yeah, I was
now.
going to say
Nate,
that wasn't
okay,
the terminology
okay.
you were using.
Oh,
Nate used that terminology. He put it into the field of play, so we had to use it.
Brandon Zerk asks, is it the same super sportsman wings that are 3x5? And no, they're not. They're much skinnier.
Yes.
I'm actually looking it up right now to see the exact specs. But yes, they are. I said goofy wings as a big sportsman guy, but they're not. The 3x5s aren't that goofy. They were just a little.
I still have mine from my feature win in 2019 hanging on my wall. So if they ever make a return, I'm ready.
Ready to go.
You were putting on social media today when we were gearing up for this that you were going to do a giveaway to people that are commenting in the chat. Can you give us a little bit more detail on that? What that giveaway looks like?
Yeah. So I have 2 free T-shirts, a $2 off coupon for Lincoln, a Jersey Mike's coupon for Hanover. Yes, I do remember, Nate. A decal, a tote bag, and a can koozie. So that will be all in the fan package for.
It's a hell of a package.
Yeah, so I'll give that away. Tyler Koenig's writing all the names down for me, with who oh my god, who was participating in the comments. So I will go home, put those all like a wheel spinner on the computer, and then I'll post the winner when I get home because I'm actually at Pat Sterner's house, but she will not get on here and talk. I just did this because she don't have Facebook, so I said here to do this with her. So I came from softball practice right to here because I'm a coach, for those that don't know, for Gettysburg High School. So I came here, and then after I leave here, I'll go home and I'll do the drawing on the Ashley Cappetta Racing Facebook. And then you can pick that up in the fan zone on Saturday at Lincoln. If you can't make it, let me know and we'll make arrangements.
Well, the comments are getting a little out of control here. Why does Nate wear women's stockings to racing?
We don't ask anything about Nate. Nate's out of control.
Anything with Nate.
I will say, I just want to slide real quick. Super Sports and Wing is a 16 square foot dish. It's weird. There's a lot of things I'm not going to read, but
hey,
really different.
Dawn said hi. She said, "Come on, Dee Dee." She's like, "Nope, I ain't getting on there."
Brandon Zerk did ask, what series did you start your racing career in?
358. If you ask my grandmother, who's no longer here, she would tell you the lawnmower in her backyard.
Same.
Santos asked, ever thought of building motors with Rob?
I would love to do that with my uncle. My cousin helps him right now, but I would disassemble. I would not assemble. That's a whole level of trust that I just don't have confidence in to do. But I have told him before I'd gladly come down and clean parts for him and stuff like that. But he's stubborn, just like the rest of us Capettas. And when he's really busy, he just doesn't ask for help. But yes, I would love to do that with my uncle.
Brad's asking how much else can you get your hands into? Very busy.
Well, I start school in the fall, so
Of course, she has more plans. But I was like, oh, what's the going rate? No, always busy. I saw you. I mean, what even the sun was going up yesterday, and you're loading up at the flea market at Williams Grove, having your shop up. You are a busy person.
yeah, an hour and a half of sleep yesterday, or not even a full hour and a half. And I went up yesterday, and it was worth it though. I had a good day. Just tired today, but hopefully I'll sleep tonight.
Aunt Bay asked, who do you like distance racing with? If we recall, I believe it was Chris Frank because he's always in the damn way in her line. I believe was the answer to that question. But Ashley runs the top now, so
it makes sense. Chris Frank, bug man in the way. He's a bug. He's in my way yesterday.
Well, since Chris moved on to the 410 sipper at Williams Grove, which honestly I think Chris has done a great job in the 410s here. So happy for his success with that. I don't know. There's nobody that really comes to mind. I guess anybody that just kind of I wouldn't say in the way, but if they drive like an ass, I get frustrated.
Fair enough. Tyler asked, if given the opportunity outside of sprint cars, is there any kind of car you'd want to drive, like a modified, late model, UMP modified, etc.?
Why did Tyler only throw in Fender transgender cars there? Come on, man. This guy.
Not like a Silver Crown car, like a real.
Yeah.
I feel like he knows the answer too.
He knows the answer, and he knows it's
just wanted a late model.
A late model. Mm-hmm. Super late model?
All the late models.
Nah, I would say like a 358 late model, but super would be cool, but I'd be okay with like a 358.
Limiteds are cool too. We got to see a little bit of them yesterday at BAPS. Chris Frank is the only car I'm on that can make a 410 feature, says Nate.
I'm sorry, Billy. I'm sorry, Billy.
No.
You caught us straight here.
Right, Kyle freaking Keene made a 410 feature. Everybody else that we were on, myself or our podcast, didn't make the races again. So didn't make the egg. We understand, Nate. We feel the pain, buddy. We feel the pain, my friend.
Well, I don't know why we would just jink Ashley like that. That's kind of messed up. But sorry, Ashley. I guess your days got a little easier. I don't know. That's when Jeremy math.
Hey, it's already bad enough. I told Pat sitting here earlier, I said, I would love to win Saturday. That would be excellent because that's my anniversary from when I started racing in general. And my first career win was her birthday, and the second career win was the Weldon Sterner. So put those two together, and that would be great. But the biggest thing, like I told her, is making sure we have a successful night of racing. As long as I make the show, roll in the box, I'll be happy. But of course, I really want to win. But just having the show go around and everybody have a good night is what is the biggest win for us for that night.
Absolutely. Well, do you want to get into who is all helping you put this all together? I know you kind of already said it, but kind of just like a whole wrap up of what to expect this Saturday and who's helping you do it.
Well, so this Saturday, like I said, the fan zone 4 to 5. You can meet the different drivers that whoever comes early for that. Van May, Chuck Reiner will be in there signing autographs. Van May plans to bring his car that he restored in his Corvette Saturday and putting that on display. I don't know exactly. We didn't really discuss fully yet where he's going to display it. Last we talked was in Victory Lane, like right where the Victory Lane sign is. So whoever wins can get their picture, with his car and, their car. We have the T-shirt toss, the football toss, the cornhole tournament with Chuck's Auto Parts Solutions. We have free scooters that we're giving away at our trailer for the fan zone that night. The $2 off coupon at mine and Chad's trailer. First 100 fans at each trailer. And then, of course, I couldn't have done this race without Pat. And, of course, her asking me to help her do this has been huge. I told her to kind of just sit back and relax this year because, she's done this race with her family and sponsors for 19 years without a lot of help. So I told her if, she wanted me to help her with this to just kind of sit back this year because it's a lot for her to have a big race like this, something that went from 6,900 to 20,000. She's probably gained a couple gray hairs from all this, and it's been great working with Pat and Chuck Reinert from our presenting sponsor, Chuck's Auto Parts Solution. I would like to go through a list though of all the sponsors that helped because without these people it definitely wouldn't be possible. And I definitely want to thank Jerry and Emily a lot for their help at the track. Several meetings. Emily and I spent many times on the phone with different things. So I would, like to go over the list then at the end of this and just say, there's a lot of people that helped us with the lap sponsorship, which has been huge for both classes. And companies that I don't think ever sponsored a race before came on board with this. So I just feel like those people deserve the recognition.
One question here from Renee. Is it going to be on Flow Racing? And Tyler says it is.
Yes.
Okay. I did not know.
Last I knew it was, yes.
So it'll be on Flow Racing if you cannot make it for some reason, but that should be no excuse. You should be getting out to the track, get there, support this event. It's going to be good. Honestly, I know we were talking about a little bit about price before, $30 to get in and everything, but for everything else that goes with it, and for the amount of money it's paying out for both divisions, it rivals something like an outlaw race or a high limit race, I think, in my opinion, and the value that the fan is getting because you're going to see great racing action, both divisions. You get, giveaways, you get to go into the pits, all that. There's so much to do. A lot of stuff surrounding it. I think it's an extremely great value. So you should definitely get there. Don't sit at home at Flow if you could help it.
I heard it's going to be black. I heard it's going to be blacked out in a 50-mile radius of the racetrack. So if you're within 50 miles, you're going to just have to go to the racetrack. So sorry about your luck.
He said.
Not for me. Definitely come and support this race for Pat because I'm pretty sure Pat is the longest standing race held at Lincoln Speedway. So to do this for 20 years, plus, it'll be, this year will be 21 if we definitely get both shows through this year. So come out and support those type of people that put on these races. Because you can't rely on just Lincoln Speedway and, local companies to do this. To have a memorial race last this long, get out and support, Pat and her family. For them to do this long, her family is great people. They're very excited about this race as well. I know some of her family's in here watching. So if you don't like me and don't want to support the race because of me, support for these people here because they've put a lot of time into this for the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
This is always one of my favorite races of the year. I've been to it probably many of those 20 have to be. They always play the ride, during the event. And if anyone from Lincoln Speedway is listening, I don't give a shit how late this weekend goes. We got to get this event in. I will not complain how long you keep me there. If there's weather-related issues, I want to watch this event. I want this to go off. Get this shit in. Okay, that's all I.
There you go. Troy said he'll be watching online. That's unacceptable, Troy. You should have your flight booked already, and you should be in America, Saturday morning going right to Lincoln Speedway.
Somehow faster than James McFadden could do it. Yeah, you do you, Troy, man. Let's go.
Hey, and if I win this race, I'll tell you what, right now, I will be doing something special for the fans. I don't know what, but it'll be something special if we can seal the deal on, my anniversary and this this race. But if not, like I said, we'll be happy either way as long as, everything goes okay with the race, because that's what Pat and I will be stressing about the rest of the week.
Ashley, if you win this race, Jimmy and I are going to burn the whole place down.
We're burning it down.
Brett Perigo won't win a race, so if you do it, we'll burn it down for you.
I think if Ashley wins, you do what Joey Mann just said right there. Chris and Jimmy have to get nasty Nate tramp stamps if Ashley wins this race.
Nobody is.
My mom said, "You win, you can take me to dinner." Heck, I'm taking the whole race team, the whole promotional team from the Sterner race. We're all going to dinner. And you know what? We win. I'll be calling my sponsor at Jersey Mike's and saying, "Hey, I need a bunch of subs for like the following week because I owe fans a ton of Jersey Mike's subs to celebrate."
And I'm actually on Jay-Z's idea. Jimmy yesterday said he would get a Nasty Nate neck tattoo. Ashley, you win. I will match Jimmy's
the temporary
neck tattoo.
tattoos.
Nope,
that
real
have,
buddy.
We're getting not a real
we're
one.
We're going down to
I would do a Nasty Nate temporary tattoo right
if
on
Ashley
neck.
wins.
I would do it temporary as well.
All right, we're in. Ashley, you guys got to win now.
Hey,
I like Aunt Bay's idea too of shoeies.
I'll call Jersey Mike's and tell my sponsor, "Hey, you just need to open the store. Buy like $1,000 in subs, and we're having a heck of a party at Lincoln." So
subs, Nasty Nate tattoos, and shoeies. What a party, man!
Hell yeah,
let's go.
We should do that regardless of who wins.
We should
do that anyway. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm gonna not commit to that, but
as long as it's on flow, it has to be on flow. As long as everyone in the world can see it, that's not there.
Thanks, Nate. That's what I needed to know. Yeah, Jimmy, we're gonna go drop the ink that night. Don't worry about it. It's temporary.
No. I want just a temporary one. I don't have any real tattoos.
We're gonna go.
You bitch.
I don't plan on it. And listen, if I am gonna get a real tattoo, I don't know if I'm gonna do a Nasty Nate one. It's on the list. I don't know if it's number one on the list.
Tim said no flea market Sunday. You're probably right. If we win, probably no flea market.
No, don't be a flea market. We'll just help you load it all there and just keep partying.
Right. Yeah, everybody's just gonna follow us to the flea market.
I'm in. Sold.
So, anything else you want to hit on before we let you go here? We're going on almost an hour here. So
yeah, I'm just going to do all the sponsors real quick. So bear with me because there is a lot of people that supported. Obviously, presenting sponsor, Chuck's Auto Parts Solution, Chuck Reinert. He's been a huge help to this race and his promotional team as well. Mike's Towing and Recovery, Rip's Crab Shack of Littlestown, Pat's Family, Let's Outlet, A&R Gunworks, Indy Race Parts, Silent Salute Foundation, A&K Flooring and Home, the Racing Trading Post, Kathy and Don Kimmy, a tribute to Steve Smith. Somebody did a lap in tribute to Steve. Nature's Best Wildlife Artistry, Brielle Stern Racing, Robbie's Oil Service, Randy's Electrical, Boyer Construction, 717 Posse Gang, ACR and Team, Altoff Property Management, Golf Cart Services, Livingston Lawn Care, Snellbecker Electric, H&H General Excavating, Brenneman Painting, GPS, Kathy Karch Daphner, Yesteryear Antique Center, Iron Horse Trains, MB & Son Incorporated, Dean's Auto Plaza, Credit Connection, Factory Emlet Powder Coating, Capital Renegade, L&M Tire and Wheel, C&O Distributors, Van May, Dave at DL George, Gettysburg Trading Post, Conewaga Ready Mix, Shiloh Paving, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Karma Industrial, JZ Construction, Felch's Window Tint, Eichelberger Racing, Randy Wade Racing, Shorty's Funnel Cakes, Kim Burton, Iron Valley Real Estate, Tyler Koenig, Bruner's Service Center, Fletcher Farms, Posseland Apparel, Beer Hill Gang, Nicole Signor Creative, Total Identity Solutions, TNS Customized Electrical Services, Ayrton Jennington, Snyder's Pretzels of Hanover. In memory of the following people for laps, Jim Slippery Snyder, Mike Miller, Joanne Lehman, Roy Kimmy Jr., Suzanne Morrison, Shirley Miranda, Mama's Pizza of Wellsville, Stone Cyphers and Sons Roll-Off Dumpsters, Melanie and Todd Fritz, Cody Hartlob Racing, Kevin and Stacy Hartlob, and Hartlob's Furniture, and Countryside Auto Sales as well. So that is all the sponsors that helped make this race go round. And
That sounds like well over 50. Like, that's incredible.
there's a lot of
Everybody
great
that's just coming
people.
together to put this together. It's great.
33 lap sponsors for the 410s and 20 for the 358. So
Awesome.
It's great to have so much support. I'm very grateful for all their help. Just get your asses in the stands this weekend.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't care what it takes. I know we're our sponsor, Snellbecker Electric. There's also going to be a giveaway 4 passes and reserve seats for free for general admission Saturday. So I will be doing that giveaway tomorrow.
She's right though. If you can't
I
get
can't
there,
keep track of all this. There's so much stuff. It's hard to keep track of everything you've gone and done, and that's going to be happening. I hope there's a backup announcer Saturday that can announce all the things happening, because Wayne is going to run out of breath, because there's so much shit you're giving away and doing. He's going to forget, not going to, you're going to need a backup. So hopefully,
just give me a
hopefully
and I'll just start rambling off. So
there you go.
There you go.
that's right. Somebody did ask. You have it all memorized for Victory Lane, so there's that. So you should probably practice your speech in the mirror.
I'll put this in my pocket.
Race fans, if you can't be at the racetrack, at the very least you can do is share the promotional stuff that Lincoln Speedway is doing, that Ashley's doing, that Flow Racing will be doing. At the very least, you can share that to your social medias to help support, get eyeballs on this race somehow, some way.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you brought that up. The video that they put together, whether that's your team, Lincoln's team, that is tremendous. That's one of the best promotional type videos I've seen from Lincoln or any track elsewhere recently. Have you, Jimmy, Chris, have you guys seen this video?
Will Gigas did a very good job on that video.
Yeah, really, really cool. Love the promotion on it. Love what it's doing. If you have not seen that video yet, where can we find it? Lincoln Speedway social media, right? I think he's been putting it out. So go to Lincoln Speedway social media stuff. Man, what a cool video! I watched that the other day. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. I love that stuff. So well done for the team, everybody involved.
Yes, everybody did a good job with everything.
Well, we're going to let you go. We thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, that was following Ashley. Make sure to check out her social media for the giveaway and get your ass there on Saturday. No excuses. No nothing. Even you, Troy, sorry. Get a flight. Get to America now. Just no excuse. So,
but if you can't, share it. Make this event sound positive, because as Sheikah alluded to, there is another one in September that she's a part of. So what happens now helps in September. So
absolutely,
let's do it as a team. All of us are a team.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you, everyone, for the support. And if you come in the fan zone Saturday, make sure you stop by. If you can't make the fan zone, because I know some people do work Saturdays, we'll be in the pits at the end of the night. We always hang out after the races. So that's a rule of thumb for me, to hang out for a while.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. Get there Saturday. We're going to let you go. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. And the drawing, like I said, when I have about a 25-minute drive home, and then I'll do after Tyler gives me all the names, I'll do that wheel on my Facebook page for the giveaway for Saturday.
Sounds great.
Thank you guys again. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Ashley. Tyler,
yes, Anthony, I'll be there on Saturday. That's my plan.
Tyler, if you get that name and we're still live, give us that name so we can announce it here, because I'm gonna guess we're still live.
Yes, we probably will still be live.
Just gonna guess.
Yeah, but definitely get there on Saturday. With her last year and tough luck. I'm not taught. I didn't want to bring up the weather, but it's a possibility. You want to make sure you have your T's crossed, I's dotted. Tyler will definitely let us know that name. But yeah, that's this upcoming Saturday. Let's talk about this past weekend here in racing.
It's Jeremy blowing up.
We want to start with BAPS.
it Jeremy?
What about is it?
I don't know. I just hear
What, is it recording again?
Really bad.
it's terrible.
Hold on.
You're a problem. It's usually me, but you're the problem here. This time, I think. I don't hear it now. So yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I think
As you were.
How's this? Is this any better?
that's much better.
All right, shitty quality, but it's another audio source, whatever. Never
Well,
had that happen
it's
before.
it's not playing back. The problem is really when we're talking,
Yeah.
your speakers are blowing up our ears.
It's not me echoing. It's playing through speakers.
We
Never
don't
mind.
listen to
We
the-
got it. We got it.
Right, we're good.
We
don't
got it.
listen to the guy.
I know audio issues is like a common theme for us because I know we had a lot of problems yesterday thanks to the wind. Let's start with BAPS. Let's start there. BAPS yesterday. Huge car count. Beautiful day. I am sunburnt. I can't tell if I'm sunburnt or
Yes.
windburnt or both.
Yes,
But I'm definitely sunburnt. I was feeling it today.
you are both of those things.
It was a great day just to be out at the track. Over 100 cars. 42? Or was it 43 410s?
42 410s, 42 410s, and then 29 wingless.
29 wingless
Wingless
sportsmen,
sportsmen,
28
and
late
then-
models.
Yes, something like that.
Like incredible car counts. So we were trying to do our pit walk, kind of like we did a couple weeks ago there. And we started at the other end this time, and it was hard to do because one, they were still trying to park cars that were still coming in.
So,
And then
keep
the
in
wind
mind-
was pretty gnarly.
Keep in
So
mind,
it was getting into the
BAPS,
microphones and everything. So we apologize about that. We'll, not too much we can do, but we'll keep working on it and trying to get better there. Go ahead,
BAPS
Chris,
has that new pit area, so it was a little of a mess. It was a little mess. It's the first time I think they had 3 division show to that level, right? Obviously their weekly
Yeah.
shows are pretty good. It's a
Did
little
they
of a
get
mess.
43 410s for the Outlaw show last year?
It was
may have
close
been
to
right
that.
about
It was
there.
in the low to mid 40s.
That's incredible.
So 43 410s, a lot of guys, a lot of wingless sportsmen there, 29, like you said. And a lot of guys that were out of place. Like I know there's reserve spots there for their weekly guys, and some of those were really hard set on being in those spots, and some of them just kind of got told that, I don't know if they got told, they just kind of went to wherever they could find a spot. So great for BAPS. They got something to look back on, and it's a small issue at the end of the day. The pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I know like Tony was directing traffic. It's frustrating, but it's a good problem to have, right? When you have 8 million cars showing up. But yeah, a little chaos in the pits. You had trucks moving in, race cars everywhere, scattered. You had random sportsmen, like the sprint cars, late models scattered around. It was chaos, right? Like it was just, that's growing pains for a new pit area. So
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely room for everybody, which is good. But as we did our pit walk, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Randy says keep doing the pit walk videos. We're going to keep trying to do stuff like that. We got to catch up with Devin Borden, who won Saturday night. He talked to us for a few minutes. Who else did we talk to? It was getting chaotic there towards the end, where it was just like we kept seeing people. We're trying to talk to people. We talked to Dakota Kuhn.
I got lost.
We were looking at Jordan Givler's fresh new ride, Mint,
and a new sponsor.
Vector
Enterprises. Is that correct? I saw the post today.
Looked fantastic, and it was just we're trying to get everybody out all that we could. But it was, like I said, it was getting chaotic between the wind, trying to get people in and out there, whatever. Then we get to the racing, and it was kind of late evening or mid afternoon. It was 80 degrees. It was windy. It did get pretty dry, slick, pretty quick. But I don't think that was a problem personally. I don't know if it. I watched from the grandstands. I don't know if it got really rubbered down that much. I know that they were pretty locked down on the. I won't even say locked down on the bottom, but it was definitely bottom dominant for most of the races. But you could still pass. There was a lot of actually really fun racing in the heat races, but it didn't seem like it rubbered down. It was just slick and dry, and I thought that I'm fine with that personally.
Right. It wasn't rubber down, from my opinion. It was just like the wing guys all hit the bottom. Like you do there, you could do different things. When the wingless guys came out, they could kind of move around, but the groove's going to be where it is, right? And that feature, skipping ahead a little bit, that feature kind of proved the track was fine.
Yeah,
it's just you have to go where they're fast at right now. It wasn't quite wide enough yet. You had You had a few guys going up into the fluff, just absolutely smoke screening the field, but it's cool as hell. But it's like, is it fast? No, but it's cool as hell.
Yeah, listen, they got started a little bit late because they put so much water in the track. It was hard to get the top layer off. They knew that they knew what they had with the wind and the sun. They were trying everything in their damn power to not get it slick, dry, rubbered up. Not much you can do, right? They tried like hell, and it was really wet. It took the sportsmen, that first group of super sportsmen that came out, or excuse me, the wingless sportsmen, they let them run around, and they were real slow, and they stopped them. They ran them again. It took them a long time to get through hot laps. By the time we got to heats, what was there was gone moisture-wise. They knew weather was coming. They got a lot of cars. We got a B main in every division. As they were starting to roll one heat off the track, and one heat on the track, they'd run a lane of water around the top. It wasn't enough to race there yet, but they were preparing and going, I'm going to try to do a lesser intermission. Listen, I give them a little bit of kudos for like, hey, they tried to prepare, knowing weather was coming, knowing there's a lot of cars, knowing there was wind and sun. Then they tried to be proactive about the track prep. It started to take a little bit in the 410 B main, but they knew if they were going to have a racetrack for the A main, they had to do something.
Yeah.
Everybody on the planet knew weather was coming. It wasn't a surprise, themselves included, but we got to see a hell of a 410 feature. I don't love that they're not weathermen. They're racetrack people. They're not weather people. And they couldn't have known it was going to break up. I thought we were done. The way it was looking on the radar, it did not break up until it rained already, and it broke up. So it's a Sunday night. It's late. Yeah. They're going to make up these races. It'll be fine. I understand. I would have rather have been there late and watched all these races too. But listen, I'm not a weatherman. I don't care. I can have a radar live, but it doesn't mean I know what I'm looking at. They're racetrack people. They're not weather people. This isn't NASCAR where they got people on standby learning how to read the weather.
Right.
They got a 410 feature in, and it was outstanding again at BAPS.
I think they prepped the track perfect. I think they put a good amount of water in the beginning. It held pretty much all day. They did what they can in between. Not much you can do. The weather's coming. Did we need as long of an intermission as we had? That's debatable. But either way, you're probably still only getting the 410 feature in. Regardless, you're still there till the 410 feature didn't end till after 8:30, right? It was a little bit after 8:30.
Around
so
there, give or take.
I think you're going to get people leaving anyway. Sorry, it's Sunday night. People are just going to leave anyway.
It's a 410 show. It's what it is, right? Like I know we're connected to the wingless because of Brett Perigo, and obviously I'm connected to the wingless because of Sportsman. But yeah, it's a 410 show. End of the day, they got in what they needed to get in. Limited lates are there, honestly, weekly. So to make up feature for them, it's not hard to reschedule. Now, if some of those guys are going to lose, it still sucks, right? It's not saying it's good. It's just like it's a lot easier to reschedule those divisions than a 410 race.
They actually punted the B main for the late models, and they were going to start all 28 of them.
Right.
I guess they're still going to do that. I don't know. I didn't see anything yet about rescheduling the.
Late models. I think are actually this. I think there's this Saturday, the 20th.
So there you go.
I think it's either 20th or 27th. Limited lates. Next time they're there, 27th maybe. I saw it early this morning. So they're gonna put it on that card that day. Wingless Sportsman announced late this afternoon, May 11th. So BAPS has a features only show. At the time was going to be Wing Sportsman, Limited Lace, something else up against Morgan Cup at Williams Grove. They've now added Wingless to that race. And the makeup features that same night. So Wingless will have two features. They're going to do starting field from this outreach race. Top 18 lock into that features only race that night. And then some kind of qualifying event that we have not quite figured out yet to get the rest of the field based on car count. So April 27th for the late models, May 11th for the Wingless Sportsmen. So it worked out. Path Valley's off that night.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of rough for us because more Outlaws, Morgan Cup, Williams Grove, but hey, life's a business.
I think BAPS did everything right yesterday that they could. I don't think they expected over 100 cars. I don't think anybody expected over 40. I think we were talking 30, 32, maybe 34. Kind of what their normal one is. They got
they got
over 40 410s. That's the biggest car count of the season here in the area. So
and all that to me just shows me how good of BAPS is doing as a racetrack, because it's not just 410s. Yes, that's huge, right? 43 410s is huge. There wasn't any shitty 410s. They were all mid pack or above level 410s in my opinion.
Right.
Number 9, he's been learning a bunch. He was actually competitive yesterday, and I wanted to shout him out. I told you, Jimmy, I'm like, usually he's been struggling the last 2 years, just getting laps in. Not that he was a danger thing, just getting laps. He actually ran well in his heat. So props to that, but they weren't shitty 410s. Wingless 29. That's good. Limited lace 28 deep. Like, let's go. Like, that's good for a sprint car limited TV event, for a 410 event. That's what keeps racetracks going. These tracks that don't have a weekly, quote unquote, weekly 410 series, that's what you need to do. Promote the other divisions. Get race fans there to watch the other divisions.
Yeah, I was a little weary on the 3 division show on a Sunday just because it's a Sunday. But, it is what it is. It's good to have, it's better to have a bigger car count than a smaller car count.
Right, for sure.
And I do think, like I said, I think they did pretty much everything perfectly. Just maybe the intermission went too long. And a lot of, trust me, everybody in the grandstands was starting, after the paint can thing, everybody was getting antsy, kind of like, let's
What's
go.
the paint can thing about? What did I miss?
I missed it too.
It was part of their fan giveaways, and it was fine. You know what I mean? Like, it was part of their fan giveaways. They, basically kind of like the old World of Outlaw toolbox thing. Stand out, hold them up. Last person standing won a 50-inch flat screen TV. So, all cool things, but
cool
just
event.
kind of reading the room a little bit. Wasn't necessary to go through all that track prep and stuff like that. I think people were just getting antsy because they knew it was coming. You look at the radar, you knew it was coming. But we end up seeing a banger of a 410 feature, and they got one lap in of the Sportsman feature. But let's talk about the 410 feature first. Danny Dietrich with the win, looking really good out there, man. This guy's on fire.
I saw today. Go ahead, Jimmy. I think you talked about the pit walk. 10 out of 11 races he's been in, podiums. I know Jeremy, you mentioned the pit walk. I saw today from Sherry's racing updates. 10 out of the 11 races he's entered, podiums. And obviously the other one being the Williams Grove, where all hell went wrong for him. So, phenomenal job from Danny.
Yeah. And I was a little, nothing against, it was not even against Danny. It was Kyle Moody was leading that race, and he's been doing so well this year, especially at BAPS, but just in general, he's really starting to get a little bit more consistency. We've talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago, and it looked like he was going to get a win, and then it was about, 6 or 7 laps to go is when Danny got around him.
Lap 11, Danny makes the move, and that's when Rick Lafferty's motor blows up.
Yeah.
But, Kyle Moody looked stupid strong, stupid fast. Hate that he finishes second, but if you're going to finish second, why not be probably the guy that's
the hottest guy
dominating in Central PA right now? Yeah. Absolutely.
Dylan Sisti with a great run in third. Freddie Raymer, fourth. Troy Wagaman, he was trading slide jobs with Mark Smith, and it from fourth back to 12th, it was just slide job city for the last half of the race. Devin Borden coming from, did he come from 20th?
He came from back there, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he came from 20th because he just got the move in his heat race to just get that last transfer spot at the line, I think. It was the last lap. Mark Smith looked really good. He was up there. He didn't start on the pole. He started up there, though. He looked good. Lance Deweese also started up there. He fell back. He was running third or fourth most of the time. He fell back after that last restart. Tyler Ross with a strong run, and Lucas Wolf looked good all night. So, absolutely great race. Jay-Z, what'd you see from down in the taking pictures down there?
Well, you said about from 4th to 12th, the sliders. Everybody in the top 10 I saw either got slid or threw a slider. And Danny, I'm telling you, I have no less than 3 extremely close sliders that Danny was involved in, whether he got slid or he was sliding someone else. Cisney, I got a slider with those 2, and they both have the left front off the ground, sliding off of 2. Wagaman and Mark Smith, Mark Smith and Raymer. And I think Mark Smith may have been pissed off at Freddie after that race. He kind of chased him down. I'm telling you, those guys were being, and not just Freddie, I'm just saying, ultra uber aggressive. And really what happened, the bottom of the racetrack was slick. It was slick through the middle. The bottom was okay, but the top was so fast that it created monster slider line in 1 and 2, and maybe there wasn't 3 and 4 as well. I know Danny took the lead with a slider in 3 and 4, but like, man, those sliders were ultra aggressive, and you had to be in 1 and 2, and it was entertaining for sure. I lost track at one point who was running where because they got into lap traffic a little bit. I'm like, who's 3rd and 4th and 5th? And I saw Lance and Troy and Lance and Mark Smith. And it was just it was just a recycling of guys sliding each other, and I was losing track of who was going forward and who was going backward. Dylan Cisney. Cisney was actually Moody took the lead from Cisney, and Moody threw a pretty short slider, and Cisney actually ran in the back of Moody off of 2, and I thought they were going to be big jump. I was like, oh no, I was like leaning back from it. So yeah, it was tremendous. It was awesome to watch. Another good BAPS 410 feature. They rarely disappoint.
No, they don't miss. It was one of those things where it was like they were doing all that track prep. People are getting antsy, and then it's like you go and see that, and it's like, well, that's why. This is why you come here. You know, this is why you come here. Is right here. I want to give probably my highlight of the night was Kyle Keene, man, make it his 410 feature through the heat. Looked good. You know, this was timed hot laps, so he had to start up there. You know, not just by random pill draw or anything. He was fast in hot laps, started up there, held his own, finished 5th, got in there, got good laps against great competition. There's a lot of good cars. I mean, the B main alone was a full feature. It was 23 cars or whatever. I think it was whatever, you know, like, and there was a lot of good cars in there that had to come through the B main. Ryan Newton on your shirt.
Kyle Reinhardt.
Impressed the hell out of me. You know, he ripped the freaking top around everybody. Like, everybody was trying to get low in that B main, and he showed that you can just go rip that top up there, and he ran away from everybody if you could hit that, you know, if you could keep the momentum going, and he did.
I think he showed everybody where it was, because, like, he was one of the first to go up there, and then by the end of that, there was just car after car after car ripping the top of 1 and 2, and they were like, oh, there's some speed there. Reinhardt moved up. Brett Strickler came out, started 20th in that, ended up 14th in feature, and was ripping the top through 1 and 2.
He wasn't even supposed to start that B main either.
Yeah, he was not going to go out there, right? And they fixed the problem. They're ready to go for next week. But, man, that B main was entertaining from my seat. I moved to a different place for the B, thinking I was going to, like, okay, I kind of know what's coming. I did not expect them to be ripping the top of 1 and 2, but they found moisture and they found speed. So that was before the track work, by the way.
Yeah. As soon as that sun went down.
They'd just been laying some water, just a run of water. And it ended up tremendous for the B main there. So, you know, where I'm standing in the infield, I can't see everything. I was really focused in 1 and 2. If 3 and 4 was anywhere as close as good as 1 and 2 was, man, you guys saw a hell of a feature from the stand. So, and I still will say this: if you can hear this podcast and you're listening to this show, and you're in Pennsylvania and you have not been to BAPS for a 410 show, again, not that I want to say don't go to the other ones, but if you have not been to BAPS for a 410 show, you're missing out.
Yep.
Get your ass to BAPS and watch a 410 show. I would consider my home track. It's the closest track to me, and I grew up going there watching 410s. I was a Stevie Smith fan growing up. He's just a little bit older than I am. He was the kid when I was a kid, you know, kind of thing. And man, like, that's just where we went on. It was Thursday night or Sunday nights growing up. I don't even know. I'm sure it was a great parenting decision by my parents to have me out then on Thursday or Sunday nights. But that's where I grew up going, man, and it never disappoints, you know. Awesome stuff.
You get to see it again in 2 weeks too. Not coming Sunday, but next Sunday they bring 410s back again. So, yeah, and then you got Outlaws coming in. Oh, they don't come till June.
No, yeah, till June. They're a little bit later in the year. Yeah.
Lincoln's the first Outlaw.
Yeah, we're getting into Outlaw season. Morgan Cup, right? You're here in May, so
right.
Go ahead,
we have
Chris.
pass for that one. That's all. I just want to piss Jeremy off real quick.
Anything else you want to add about?
That's all. Yesterday, no, yesterday was great. Loved it. I couldn't find Brett Perigo. He was a little busy, but I talked to Carmen and Craig and all the other Perigos. They almost swept.
They did.
We'll get more into this on Thursday on the Rolling Podcast, but yeah, Brett wins his heat. Craig wins his heat. Breaks my buddy Eric. Actually, he broke my heart. Eric actually didn't care. I was upset. Eric said that's fine. But
Yeah, there was
and then,
there was multiple
Dennis
heats
Perrigo.
where either the win or the transfer spot was a drag race to the line out of 4, and it was half a car length or less, and that was one of them. Sorry,
and as I heard from a Perrigo named Carmen, they would have swept had Denny just not messed up and let Dexter Ehrenzeller pass him. But here we are. So a great day. I love being at BAPS. It's growing into one of my favorites. That was my 3rd race at BAPS, which is outpacing my native homeland of Williams Grove by a lot right now. So I love it. I love being at BAPS.
Very good.
Do want to give a shout out to Brett Perrigo, of course. He took his cojones.
Can we just find out where he is first, though?
And just drug him across everybody in that heat race. He went from 4th to 1st in one turn, basically. It was wild. He went split cars 3 wide, went through down into turn 3 and slid for the lead. It was impressive.
Randy,
he was out there. Was a little extra motivated for some reason. I don't know why.
Randy, there were so many Perrigos there. It was wild. Like there were 3 Perrigo race cars,
and then you had
see Brett. Brett was missing, and there's still like so many Perrigos. It was crazy, and we still couldn't find Brett. I saw Brett on a wheeler one time.
I didn't know that one Perrigo even existed. I didn't. I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah, dude, fast Uncle as fuck though.
Hey, comment here, Mad Matt. Going to be interesting to see how Callum Williamson does in the Trone car. Listen, I wasn't sure why he hasn't raced yet, but we started thinking about it and figured that Linton Jeffrey wrecked all of the race cars. So we're thinking maybe they're out of race cars. I don't know. Maybe you know more than we do. But no, I'm looking forward to that. I hope he does well there, in that car and, makes a name for himself over here in the States. I mean, I know the name, but there's probably a lot of people locally don't know this name. And hopefully, he, makes himself a household name.
Yeah, absolutely. Be interesting to see when he comes over and does in that car whatever is left. Will I see any of you 3 at Selinsgrove on Sunday? I will definitely be there. I don't miss Selinsgrove.
No.
Hopefully the weather holds out. It's
not this trip. I made them last year. This one, I think I'll skip this one this time.
Not gonna lie, probably Team Jay-Z here, but you never know. I'm full of surprises. So.
Me too.
Well, anyway, don't listen to these naysayers. Get to Selinsgrove on Sunday. It's going to be a great time.
He said, "You never know." Sunday morning, next you know, you see this beautiful race car going up the highway to Selinsgrove.
And it depends how the rest of the weekend goes. If the weather doesn't cooperate Friday and or Saturday, you might see me in the beautiful town of Selinsgrove on Sunday. You just never know.
Again, don't listen to these naysayers. Get there anyway. So
okay, yes, go to Selinsgrove. Support Selinsgrove. He's right. What are they running? Is it just 410s?
It's 410s, limited lates, and Roadrunners. Which usually they get like 10 to 12 Roadrunners.
Yeah.
I feel like Troy Salvage got confused. It's not Aussie. It's Posse.
We'll take that. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway. We'll steal that one from you.
So BAPS Sunday, great time. They will be making up those sportsman and late model features, like we said. Got to get the shrimp dinner. Yes, Tyler knows. You got to get the peanuts and you got to get the shrimp dinner at Selinsgrove.
Shrimp dinner at a racetrack? Ugh.
Absolutely,
it's like sushi from a gas station. You just don't do it.
No,
that's how you miss a show on Monday, Jimmy.
No, dude, you never had the shrimp at Selinsgrove, man. It's
no,
good. I don't trust you at all.
It's not like raw shrimp. It's deep fried shrimp.
I would honestly be raw shrimp.
They're big. Think like Long John Silver style, but way better.
All right. Fair enough. I'll have to find it.
We'll have to do a video about this sometime.
There you go.
We will do a video on this at some point. I think it's
hell yeah.
Jimmy's gonna eat it though.
I haven't had that in a while actually. Now I'm craving it.
I'm gonna film.
Anyway, let's get to Saturday. So unfortunately, Friday rained out. Yeah, they do got crinkle cut fries. You're making me hungry, man.
Nobody cares for the crinkle cut fries. Saturday.
Friday. It was. First of all, preface. We're in a chat with Brett Perrigo, and Brett's like, "Don't look at the radar. We're racing the day." Talking about Williams Grove on Friday. I'm like, "Son, you're out of your mind," because we were swimming Friday morning. Anywhere you were.
Jimmy was a naysayer in a scenario.
They end up canceling very early.
God.
Shout out to Williams Grove doing the right thing. The rain was gone by Friday night, but it was windy and it was still wet.
It
The
was
property was
not
probably
going to be a good time.
if you're trying to, park there and everything. So, and it was going to be cold. It was cold Friday night too. Then also, Lincoln. It was a very weird turn of events. Lincoln canceled very early They canceled on Friday for Saturday.
Right after Williams Grove, yes.
Right after Williams Grove did, because of the winds and everything, and it was windy. It was gnarly on Saturday, and BAPS also canceled for Saturday. Geared up for Sunday just because of the way the weather was. We got like 4 straight days of rain, and it was going to be wind. We had wind advisories through Friday and Saturday. But Port Royal still said we're going. The wind died down there a little bit earlier, maybe, I guess, but they went through with it on Saturday. And I know Steph Showaker and her family, her clan there, they took their first trip to Port Royal this past weekend, and they saw a hell of a race. Devin Borden and Danny Dietrich, part 2, second week in a row. What a feature. Devin,
peak Port Royal Speedway.
Yes, that is that's the exact type of race. Man, I fucking love Port Royal. Like that's literally just what you say after those type of races. The race was great. Whether you're there or you're watching it on Flow, it was amazing. But you got to give a lot of credit to all the cars because it was chaotic. You got 2 leaders going through lap traffic. The lap traffic's holding their lines, and shout out to Justin Whittle for stuffing himself in the wall and not
basically
to not take Devin out as Devin was trying to slide around. Danny with 2 to go. Lap traffic playing a huge role. The track was wide. They did a great job of reworking the track in between, much like BAPS did yesterday, making it a great feature. So what'd you guys see from your point of view?
I think I watched that feature. Awesome race. I mean, Danny, he's on fire. And you could see the frustration come through. Like, lap car got my way. But Devin Borden is a track champion from a year ago there. Absolute phenomenal driver in general, but also obviously on the top. I think the cool part is we didn't hear about Wickerbills. You had a racy racetrack. You had lap traffic. You had 2 drivers that are good at their jobs and very good at their jobs. And we don't have to worry about Wickerbills. Take that for what it's worth. Love the race. I loved all of it. I mean, heartbreak for Danny. He's probably not that heartbroken. He'll get past it.
Yeah.
Good for Devin. No, we had Chris Ellsworth here a few weeks ago. Devin showed maturity. He didn't run the wall and wreck the race car. He ran the wall, drove up to him, and let Danny know, hey, you got me last week. I got you today. And that's what we need. It's not a rivalry, not in the spirit of like wrecking cars, but it's a little fun. We had that whole first rain out for the first 3 weeks, and then they have 2 back-to-back races that turn into bangers. I saw a chat, and this one, I don't know that person's name, probably for the best. They said Devin Borden hasn't shown anything, recency bias, that we'll see what he does when the track's not hammered down. That person definitely didn't watch 2 weeks ago when that track was very
or didn't watch any races at Port Royal last year either.
Right. So that person, if you're watching, you know who you are, and you can live with that. But he's clearly shown growth. Rubber down race last week. He misses it. I don't even think he misses the bottom. Danny just
charges it in harder.
He did exactly the right move as a veteran would do to get around Devin. This time, Danny's the one that kind of got vulnerable with his own head, and Devin did the very veteran move to get around him. So that's growth. That track was not hammered down.
No.
It hasn't been hammered down in either 2 weeks. So whoever you are, and you know who you are in Facebook land, you're wrong. So get wrecked.
And by the way, Devin came from 12th to win that feature, or was it 14th? Right. Was it 14th or 12th?
12th.
He came from deep. Danny started like 5th.
Third
or fifth. I think he started somewhere in that first in the inside row there early. But yeah, Devin had to drive through. Like he got up to but halfway through the feature, he got up to 5th, and we're like, yo, he's coming. Like, he's not just gonna get up there, and need a caution. Like, he caught him before any caution was needed. You know what I mean? And then they got into lap traffic, and it was on from there.
Brent Shue, there's never been a bad race in PA ever. Okay, you know this. Go ahead, Jay-Z.
So, Port Royal was hammered down for Devin Borden. By the way, you're wrong. If you run the line Devin Borden runs, look how hard he was running. You're telling me he was not hammered down? That's wrong. If you didn't run that line, you didn't run as hammered down. It was for Devin Borden. He was the fastest car in the track, in traffic, passing cars to the lead. So
that track was
not hammered down.
That track was not hammered down.
That track is definitely not hammered down.
The wall.
He's not hammered down throwing like.
We're not talking like Williams Grove. You're starting to pole and you're hammered down.
Yeah.
Run your line. No, he had to work that damn thing.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're right with what you're saying. This guy made it sound like.
And I don't think there was any veteran moves from this. Last week, what Danny did to Devin was a veteran move. This week, what Devin did to Danny was, I'm young and stupid, and I'm going to just put it to the floor until I see a checker flag or Jesus, right? Danny was actually like, hey, I'm racing lap cars, using his brain. He's not a guy that runs the wall. He admitted that. He doesn't want to go up there if he doesn't have to. This was not veteran by Devin Borden. This was, I'm young and dumb, and I'm going to go do this damn thing.
I don't think anybody said veteran, though, either. We said progress.
I mean, I did. I said.
No, but I know what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that, his youthful exuberance, and I'm going to go rip the fence here, is helped him get there. What he did to Danny and through lap traffic and make that pass, that's some veteranness. Yeah, you can be the fastest car until it's time to, hey, I got lap cars and the leader in front of me, who's the other second fastest car in the field. The way he handled that was very veteran. Yes, very veteran. Getting there, I didn't see a lot of veteran other than I'm just trying not to crash this damn thing and catch him in a hurry. That's what I saw.
That's why sprint car racing is cool.
It was badass. It was awesome. Awesome.
I mean, yeah, he was. I think the big difference for me though was
years past.
There's
we
a
see
good
him
chance that he is wrecking it last year compared to he looked pretty in control. He was throwing some moves, but he had to. If he
was Logan Wagner-esque in the back half of that 5 championship run, where he's doing things I don't know how he's doing that in the first place, but now he's doing it in control. Before he would make those moves, kind of like a young Macri, where he'd sail off in the corner, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna hope that catches cushion and run off. This time it was more controlled. I'm gonna ease to that cushion. I'm going to do that thing to the cushion and drive the hell off. Or I'm just going to ride the fucking cushion and just go. Definitely, in my opinion, more controlled, more car control, more disciplined while running the ragged edge. If that makes sense.
What if he crashed it? Would you think it was a veteran race until he crashed it?
No, then that's...
Yeah. That's exactly what we're talking about, though.
One false step, one move. It's not a veteran race. I mean, he's going to live and die by that. If he succeeds, he's a veteran, a mature move. If he doesn't, he's not.
The point is he didn't, and you could see he was doing, seemingly from what I was watching on Flow, was doing cautionary measures to make sure he didn't do that thing because he knew he was catching Danny and he was getting there and he had to pick a spot. Danny picked the middle because he was getting frustrated on those other guys, and that left the opportunity open. That's the veteran part of this. Years past, Devin's going to keep doing it, even if you can clearly see him go to the corner and see a car and say, hey, this isn't going to work. He's going to do it anyway. Devin wasn't doing that. He was almost setting himself up to be in position. So when Danny decided to go do something else, he was there. And that's kind of how it worked.
In my view, if Danny doesn't leave the top, Devin doesn't win the race.
Nah, I still think he gets him.
When Devin got to him with 10 to go and they were both running the top, Devin tried to throw sliders. It didn't work. He couldn't get to him close enough to throw a slider. Lap cars were in the way. When Danny moved down that one time and Devin had to run, it was over. When Danny moved down, that gave Devin a shot. Devin doesn't really want to leave the top. He'll throw that slider, but if he has to throw that slider on a guy like Danny, even if Danny's not ripping the top like Devin, it's hard to make that work on a guy like Danny Dietrich. When Danny moved down, it gave Devin that shot. I don't know if Devin wins that race if Danny moves off the wall, or if Danny doesn't move off the wall. Nobody's here to say, but man, I'm not taking anything away from Devin. He did what he needed to do, and it was fantastic. I'm not taking it away from him, but and I think Danny said that. I got impatient, felt like I had to go do something. He doesn't leave the wall. I think Danny wins that race.
Veteran driving is letting other guys make mistakes, and you capitalize on those mistakes.
Sure.
That's veteran driving.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least Devin wasn't sending it and hoping it stuck. Yes, is he happy that Danny went down? Probably. I don't know.
Should be.
It's a different Devin Borden.
I wouldn't say I'm like in the between here where I'm like I wouldn't say veteran is the right word, but definitely progression. Like I don't think.
Right. And that's kind of where it started.
Like I think he probably junks it last year if he's in that same spot trying to get around him.
Getting there. He chunks it trying to even get there.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he also won a shit ton of races at Port last year because he bypassing a lot of cars as well.
Correct.
So it's not like it's incapable of it.
He's going to eat it sometimes. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But I was linking it into like last week's race too, where he showed that progression of not trying to do that and say, hey, track's down here. We're going to go down here. We're going to do it right. That's all.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree with you on that. Other great runs. Steve Buckwalter was actually in the lead for a little bit of this race. In the beginning, he ran really well, stayed up there in third. Chase Dietz went 14th to fourth. He did went 12th to the win. Yeah. Chase Dietz is looking really good in that one car. Almost as good as, he's almost already kind of where Logan was in that one car.
Chase Dietz is good in everything.
Man, Logan Wagner, by the way, in fifth, looks good in the 69K. It is weird to see him, though, not quite like that was we all knew the top line was the fast line, and he didn't seem to really go, at least from what I could see, go up there that often. Maybe not as often as, but whatever. Still great run, still probably feeling it out, and a great top five against a good field. Lucas Wolf with another two back-to-back top tens for Lucas Wolf, looking really good. Jake Carkland, again, I talked about him last week. He's another guy that keeps turning my head, like he's, especially at Port, obviously at Port. Be interesting to see what happens here this weekend because I'm sure he'll run Port and Selinsgrove. But looked great. Freddie Raymer did make an appearance. He parked it really early. Like, I'm not sure what happened, but and AJ Flick made an appearance all the way up from Western PA. He used to be a weekly guy at Port Royal, but the past couple of years he stopped coming out every week because it's pretty far away. So good to see him out there on a nice but windy Saturday night.
We're big AJ Flick fans. I think that's actually not his first race. It's definitely one of his first handful of races that AJ Flick's run this year. Lernerville hasn't started up yet. He's a monster out there. Big AJ Flick fan.
He made an appearance out at what was the dust race? Pittsburgh Motor.
Oh yeah, he was at Pittsburgh. Yeah, so
he was out there that day. Might have only been his second race of the year, second, third. I don't even think he's gotten a 5. Yeah.
Love AJ Flick. If you follow his pages, Mama Flick does a great job of updating you on it. So do that.
Absolutely. So that takes care of Saturday. The super late model race was pretty good. Ross Robinson finally got his first Port Royal win. Good for him. Then they did the Australian Pursuit, which was pretty fun to watch. And then I can't remember who won the limited late model race, but
Devin Hart.
Devin Hart. But late models there are always really fun. You got Lucas Oil late models coming up the day after the Keith Kaufman Classic here. Not next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. So definitely
April 27th.
Yeah, April 27th is Keith Kaufman. That's 410s, USAC East Coast, and Wingless Sportsman. And then Sunday is Lucas Oil late models, which I think I'm going to try to do. I'm definitely going to do the double, I think, that weekend if it's nice, because I'd like to go and check out Lucas Oil. I think that'll be that they just race really well there. I'm not even a big late model guy, but going to Port Royal as much as I have is kind of changed my mind a little bit on it. I'm not to say it's better in sprint car racing or anything, but it's been a lot of fun. Outlaws are high limit first. Let's just hit Outlaws first, because I didn't really pay attention, to be honest, with the Outlaws that much. They raced at I-55 this weekend. David Gravel won Friday night. leading all 40 laps. Shout out Brock Zierfoss, the top 10. Noah Gass with the hard charger, plus 12. Joe B. Miller with the top 10. They had both on Friday night, both High Limit and World of Outlaws both had
37
cars, 41 cars at each.
I thought it was 37, but yeah, right around there.
37,
Yeah.
something like they had equal car counts at both and full fields. So good to see. I-55 obviously is a crazy intense bull ring. David Gravel gets to win there, and then Saturday night, Donnie Schatz. What do you say in victory lane? Sometimes you just got to go take him to school. That's what he did. He led the last 30 laps. Bill Baylog had a good start in this. He led the first 10 laps. Austin McCarl with the plus 12 hard charger.
I think the interesting thing, real quick for me, before anything, the World of Outlaw Tour, haven't been following that close. They had nine new winners in 9 races with Rico the other week. David Gravel, as of late, is starting to emerge as the David Gravel we thought was going to be doing. He's up there. He's there. But Donnie Schatz is not willing to just let him run. I mean, Cito, sure. But Donnie is just matching him step for step. Gio had the points lead a couple weeks ago. But you kind of see it. You kind of feel it. We're not quite the Brad Sweet summer months where he just runs away. But David Gravel is stacking those podiums and top 5s. It kind of feels like we're only so close to David Gravel breaking that points season wide open. But I don't know.
Could be.
That's what he's supposed to do.
That's still another guy you got to watch, and Buddy Kofoid. Buddy Kofoid did he have two podiums? Two podiums. Yep. He finished third on Saturday and second on Friday. And Carson Macedo was also there. They flip-flopped. They flip-flopped Friday and Saturday, so they both had podiums both nights.
Right.
So
I like it. I love it.
Yeah. No, and I pay attention to World of Outlaws, obviously. I mean, we're a podcast here, and I like the World of Outlaws. It's just
the timing.
The timing going on. I'm not the biggest I-55 fan, to be honest. I think it's cool, but it's not really something that I'm like. That and Houston, those two tracks, for some reason, like they get a lot of this hype, and for me, it's just not my cup of tea. I just feel like it's too tight and too, I don't know. It's just not my brand.
When you come from the land of half miles, we actually don't like those other tracks.
But I know where he's come from. It's the high banked bull rings. The opposite, RPM, which just high limit last night. Small track, but I thought that shit was gnarly. That looked cool. It had character. I agree with Jimmy here. Houston's an I-55. I watched it. It's semi-entertaining, but it just doesn't do it for me. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess it's cool. But, man, RPM, like Jacksonville Speedway in Illinois, RPM, those places to me, man, are like – they're just cool, badass little racetracks. I didn't even know anything about RPM, but watching that last night, that looked fun as hell.
Yeah.
Right. I caught the feature for RPM last night. I got home after BAPS. Let's go over Corey Day wins.
Yeah, let's talk last night.
All right.
RPM, Corey Day with the win. Ripping the top when nobody else was. It was a very gnarly track, like you said. Not very high banked, but a lot of guys were really just trying to hook that bottom. And especially it seemed like out of 4, we're trying to hit that. There was like almost like a mini curb that was kind of forming for them to try to grip on coming out of 4 low. Corey Day said, I'm just going up top and I'm ripping around you at the end. Kerry Madsen led most of this race, it seemed like. At least pretty much until Corey Day went around him. Jacob Allen with another great run. Anthony Macri, we'll talk about him in a little bit. Great run as well. Brad Sweet with a top 5. Rico Aber had a pretty tough weekend. He got into a late wreck there. Hunter Schurenberg had a pretty gnarly wreck. They're all okay, but Casey Kane spun probably about 4 times all night.
I think it's interesting. You talk about bull rings, and I want to get your. I think I know your ideas on it. So Corey Day, California driver, similar to Larson, the Sweets, tight bull rings, right? And they're not high banks out in California, right? But you think that helps a track like that? Jacob Allen, for whatever reason, him and Logan Stewart have always been good on the Outlaw Tour when they were out in California. What are your thoughts on that? Is it because they're used to that tight bull ring style racing from being in California?
100%. Absolutely. We've seen it over the years. These tight bull rings, these California guys are the cream of the crop. They rise to the top. Whether there's an invader or a full-time guy, your Macedos, your Larsons, your Ricos, that's what they're used to, right? That's why when, if our guys go out and race a big half mile, our guys are pretty good at it, right? They have an idea on it. It's not any different. But Corey Day is, and we talked about this last year a little bit. I know we have at times. He is a guy on my radar that could be the talent in the sprint car world if he sticks with it. He could be that next dude. And I've seen him, punch above his weight, experience and weight level, and he doesn't ever look really out of control like a young guy. He seems like he has it underneath of him. And I'm going to use this word because it really resonates with me, veteranness in the way he races. He doesn't race like he's 18. He does not. And even on a bull ring like that, he never really looked out of control. Where the bull rings would do that. He's damn impressive.
He's got a veteran crew around him with Jason Myers and that team. Like he has people teach him the way, right? He's a hell of a talent, hell of dedicated to it, right? Like he's gonna graduate online. He's working hard to get done with high school, but he's doing it the right way, right? I know. For the last couple of years, it's him and Ryan Timms. Not that Ryan Timms is doing it wrong, but like Ryan Timms has kind of struggled when he's come to PA or other places. Corey Day has a cast of characters around him that have him set up to be whatever he wants to make this into.
Yep. He came to Port Royal, dusted the field in his heat race, and was probably going to do pretty well in that feature until he got caught up in that deal. That was his first time to Port Royal, right? Like I don't think he came last year.
He's
first time.
He's surrounded by a cast of characters that took down Donnie Schatz as a World of Outlaws champion in Donnie's prime. That's great. Corey Day has a talent to match that level of maturity that as an 18-year-old you wouldn't have, right?
Mm-hmm.
He surrounded himself around the right people to give him that maturity, that veteranness that Jeremy talks about. So yeah, he's going to be a problem as long as he can stay with this. And when I say problem, it's a good problem. Like, he's a good problem for sprint car racing. Like, wherever he goes, whatever he decides to do, he's going to make your series, your track better.
Absolutely. Kyle Larson said the same thing as pointed out here by some people in the chat here. Kyle Larson's another guy who, when you get that cosign,
right,
you're the real deal. And he's not buckling under pressure. Look at what he did. Just went out.
He's just like, hey, do my thing.
Yeah.
But, right. Real quick, though, you said Kyle Larson. That's the guy that makes your division streaming service track better when he shows up. Corey Day is that guy. Now, that guy.
Randy Kopp asked, how is Jason Myers connected to Corey Day? I want to say is he his uncle? I'm not exactly sure on that. I know it's his car though. That's his car.
It's Jason Myers' team, right?
I don't know if he's related or something like that, but it's his team. I could have swore he was maybe related somehow, but I'm not sure.
Loosely related, something like that. Yeah, I saw the video once, but it's Jason Myers' team, right?
Yeah.
So that's how.
Or it's just he just found him
coach.
and
his driver coach, maybe. Something like that. Tyler's going to come in and tell us how we're wrong. But
yeah, somebody will tell me that I'm completely off base. But it is his car. It's his team. And he's been kind of taking Corey under his wing here the past year and a half, 2 years, and has been bringing him up.
And everything I've seen from Corey, though, he's very receptive to criticisms and things that are going to help him build better, which is key for a young racer. Some of these guys, like, hey, I know how to drive. Like, no, you don't. Like, no, he's
Corey's uncle. Look at that. I was on.
Finally, Jim was right about something.
Thank you, Tyler. Saturday night. This race was pretty cool. Anthony Macri with the win. They were going back and forth, though, between Brent Marks, Brad Sweet, Tyler Courtney, and Anthony Macri. The lead changed quite a few times. But Anthony Macri comes out victorious in the end. Getting around Tyler Courtney, it's great to see Pennsylvania being represented down in Texas. Brent with a good run, and then obviously Macri with the win. This was a pretty cool. It was a pretty cool track. This is at Texas Motor Speedway, and with NASCAR running You know, it's right there. So like if you go camping for the weekend, like I think you had a lot of new fans there. The person that won the that did the dice roll, never
Right.
been to a dirt race. He's just like, I'm here, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
And
that's what I say. That's what he said. I'm
exactly
here. I'm just here, man.
that's the exact advantage that with Kyle Larson running this series and partnering it with NASCAR a little bit has the advantage of. You know, and it really, I mean, we've seen it before, but you know, this was a good example of, hey, we're there NASCAR weekend right after your Xfinity race, you know,
Right, you
come
have a
on over to
photo
the backstretch
finish.
and come, yeah, photo finish, crazy photo finish.
The hell of luck here. You have a photo finish, 0.002 thousandths of a second separate Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg, and then hey, let's go watch the sprint car because they're
let's
badass.
go watch
So
this.
let's
Awesome.
go do that.
Yeah, and you go, you know, not only do you have Kyle Larson, but you also had Ricky Stenhouse and Chase Briscoe also running.
Right.
You know, and it's like, hey, there's names that they know, and then they're learning. Casey Kane's by the way, if you're a NASCAR fan, you know what I mean. And you know, and then you start. That's how you get people into this stuff. Yeah, Tony did it with the All Stars, you know, and Kyle's continuing that with this series as it moves on.
They had Tim Duggar there, right after the show.
Yeah,
Saturday?
he did a post race.
So you have a post race concert after the high limit race from a guy that's pretty big in country music that's been at all the NASCAR shows, random SMI events throughout the year. It's like, dude, marketing side, spot on.
Yeah.
Then you have a racetrack that we had.
It's so SMI built these tracks as we were talking about it. You know, you have Charlotte, which obviously is where the World Finals are at, but I don't think like Texas has not been very used, and they used to go to Las Vegas, but I think for reasons because of conditions, it's not best for their track. But this track, it was fun. It was flat. It was a little cowboy up, especially out of 2, but it made for really good racing.
Right, spot on fun. Like when you see Brad Sweet hit it in bike, lose momentum, Macri, Brent Marks, everyone in the top 8 hit that curb on 2 and bike like a.
You had to hit it right,
like,
and it created opportunities, for guys to pass. And it wasn't like to the point though where it was like dangerous and guys are flipping or anything. It was just getting them out of shape. You got to hit it right. It made it for a really fun feature, I think.
Macri takes the lead, hits it, flames boil out from, I'm guessing, oil that he dumped from being so caught, smoking forever. Like, holy shit. Like, awesome race. Tyler Courtney, have a drive. Brent Morris got screwed by that first lap.
Yeah.
Red flag. That sucked. But
yeah.
Him and Jacob Allen, like, I don't know, man. I loved it. I thoroughly watched it on Flow and thoroughly enjoyed all of it, which is weird for me.
Same.
So.
And I was just going to say that from Tyler. Love the tunnel. I think that's the coolest feature of this track is that they have a tunnel. Usually you have like, you know, we know here tunnels like Port Royal.
We walk through them.
You walk through them. No, they were driving the cars back to the pit area through, which is great for time trials and stuff because then they could just go right back.
I saw a thing from Chase Rodman. They had to flatten the wings while in the car to go through the tunnel so they didn't hit the wing on the tunnel. That's crazy. Imagine figuring that flatten your wing out and just like tear apart a $700 wing.
JC, what do you think about Saturday night's feature?
It was entertaining. I was entertained. I thought Courtney was still a little bit better, but the timing and the way the bumps worked and it gave it character. It was just who could make the last mistake last, right? Like who could make the last big mistake that killed their momentum enough. Definitely entertaining. You know, both of those. The high limit races were fantastic. Entertained for sure.
Everything this year with high limit, and I know it's the nice new shiny thing, you know, so the honeymoon will eventually wear off, I think, a little bit, but there hasn't been a bad race with high limit all year. And it's such a plethora of guys that can win, not even just with the series, but guys that end up just showing up and running with them. And the Outlaws are the same way too, don't get me wrong, but not quite like this. It just feels different with what high limit did. They also did this new roulette wheel, which I like a lot more. It's not just pulling a pill. It's like
I don't
know exactly which.
That's exactly where I was going to go with it. The two cool things, that roulette wheel that he did. You guys had some bugs to work out, but that's cool as shit. Like, I was engaged. Like, we don't know. They spin the wheel. They get top of the sponsors and wherever they land. I love it. I love that. It's their thing. It's their thing. That's the thing that makes them different, right? Like, you do that. That's cool for you. I think it's cool also, like High Limit and World Outlaws can coexist. We're getting
Yeah.
past that hatred of like, hey, no, these two
Well-
things can coexist.
Fans might be. I don't think the series are yet because
Well, the
Outlaws
series,
still
we don't
kind
care
of
about them.
refuse to mention anything about
Hey,
Outlaws.
and that's their choice. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, is car count wise says these things can coexist.
So yeah, so that's the good. So you have about 40 cars almost at both World of Outlaws. They still had like 32 or 30 at last night on a Sunday night in
Right.
Texas.
Right. They can
40
coexist.
at BAPS. Sprint car racing is in a great spot right now. I think it's on.
Everything is going to be okay.
Talking about with with some of this where it was like because it was down for a little bit. We're getting back to some of these. Doesn't matter where you go, you're going to have good car counts as long as you're promoting it right and all that. You know what I mean? But it seems like you can go just about to any place in the country and go see good quality racing with good quality cars. And you're not going to have to worry about 15 cars showing up unless you
actually just don't have a good racetrack or don't promote it. That's your choices. Like even Seals is going to have a full field on Sunday unless
they should,
and then that'll be fun. But like BAPS at 42, you have to start somewhere. BAPS has done a good job. High Limit, phenomenal job. Kubota, everything come on board. We're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Jeremy, what do you want to say?
I got nothing. I'm just letting you have you're having your moment tonight, buddy. This is
I'm trying to use my new mic. I'm trying to use my new microphone.
You're doing all of that, sir. You keep it rolling, my friend.
Oh, well. One time I was scared Anthony Macri went to the corner so shallow that I thought his steering broke, and I thought he was gonna not make the corner. But Anthony Macri just stabs the brake and goes fast and turns left, so it worked out. That's a real thought, by the way.
Yeah, let's. There's some good fan comments in here. Let's go with did you see Macri's new shirts? Yeah,
love the shirts.
I think it's okay.
Jimmy's a hater.
I'm not a hater.
I think it's corny as hell.
I think it's. I'm okay with leaning into it. I just think the design and the saying is a little corny, but that's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, because when they're fighting in June, it's going to look silly.
We don't care about June, buddy. You sell shirts now, so you have new ones in June.
Oh,
marketing. Okay. Jimmy has a duct tape Lance Louise shirt, so it's the same. To me, it's the same thing.
Hashtag broke up again.
Yeah, but Lance isn't saying. Never mind.
No,
I'm not going to get into that.
He duct taped his name on a car. It's the same thing. To me, it's the same thing.
I don't think it is.
Pick a lane.
I don't think it is.
Pick a lane.
It's the same. It's in the same lane. It's on the same road, maybe, but not in the same lane. Steph, like I said, they went to Port Royal for the first time.
She saw the cathedral of tunnels.
Just saw a huge ass tunnel. That is, it's amazing. I was talking to her a little bit right before the 410 feature at BAPS yesterday, and I'm like, just want because I'm a port guy. I just wanted to pick her brain on how as a first time person going there, and it's just like, man, it's big. Like the facility's great, but it feels
just drop down levels.
Not just the tunnel, but just the whole facility. Especially once you go in the infield, everything just feels so big compared to if you go to like a Lincoln or even a Williams Grove. But Williams Grove is even big.
It's because it's because there's nothing in the infield port. It's because that's your stand.
Right.
It's just awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Casey Hepler, Brandon Shepard going to run 410. I saw this. I don't know if I have an opinion on it, other because he can go win a lot of money with late models. So it's cool to see him jump into a 410. It's a home track deal, so it's pretty cool to see him go run some sprint cars. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I don't think he's going to win or anything, but he should be competitive.
Yeah, I'm not someone who like. Maybe it's just me, but like it's cool. I mean, okay. It's probably bigger. It's probably bigger for Brandon Shepard and late model fans that wow, like this guy's going to go do that. Okay, good luck. Like I don't dislike him. I don't know much about the guy. I know he's a winner, but good luck. Just doesn't do much for me.
It's cool for that region, kind of like when Lance wanted to run Hagerstown. It's like whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's fair.
Real quick, Steph, I could have threw a beer at you and hit you in the head yesterday, but you looked cold, so we didn't do that.
Yeah, Chris doesn't
So,
waste beers. So he wasn't
We don't
gonna
waste
do
beers. We don't waste. We were busy drinking Kool-Aids and adult beers.
She did ask, how do you think Port is going to do Saturday? Will Lincoln have a 20K race? And I think that is an interesting conversation to have here. I still think they both get good fields.
There's very little crossover, right? Like,
Right. This is the thing. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're going to get Danny back to Lincoln. You're going to get probably Devin to Lincoln. Freddie will get back to Lincoln. They've been running Port the past 2 weeks.
Freddie's been begging to get back to Lincoln.
there's a few that will cross over, and you're going to have to like, well, maybe Lucas Wolf. What's TJ Stutt's going to do? Because he has his own ride, and then he has the 11
ride.
at Lincoln. There's a few, not many, but there are a few that I'm like, well, you might have to just watch out and see this week, right? Because they're kind of commitments, and there's kind of not. So
yeah, I mean, you won't see Chase Dietz at Lincoln, right?
No.
Because he's committed to run
full Port
Royal for the,
Right.
for the title. So
So that's I have a problem with that. Like Port Royal, I get why they have their races to run. Work together. Like, come on. Lincoln has a big race there.
I don't think it works that way for this.
no, this is different, I think.
This is a big race for Lincoln, but this is not a traditional yearly big race, right? Even when it's a Sterner for $6,900, they don't cancel at Port Royal. I wish they would have too. I don't disagree with you, but they're not. This doesn't surprise me in the least. And honestly, kind of feel bad for Port Royal. They've had 2 410 races in, right?
I understand that, but like, come on. Like the schedule's not that. Like, do something else. Do anything. Like
anything.
Super lates, limited lates.
But they are. Like, so Port Royal on Saturday. Not only do they have 410s, and maybe they get
410s off the card. It's not that hard. Just leave them on the card.
But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's 3 or 4 cars that are debatable.
They're not going to do that for the Kaufman.
I would say the same thing to Lincoln if it's the other way around. It's just like, I don't know. It's a me thing.
They do it for the shows that they should do it for. And I'm not downplaying the Sterner, but this is not one of those that falls in that category for me.
That's the problem.
They run, and like Brent, I was just going to say that. They're running super late models and 305s. So if they get 22, 24, 26, 410s, that's a good night for Port. And Lincoln still has a good shot here of getting 40.
You just named off 5 quality race cars that can't go to Lincoln because they're racing for points.
Right.
At Port.
So you might get others.
It's can or won't. And they just decided not to.
Yeah. And that might mean there might be some guys that, hey, I don't really have a shot at 20,000. I don't really want to. We've seen it before, and they're going to go to Port.
I get it.
There's enough cars to go around where this can work. But Lincoln will definitely have a bigger car count.
Do you really think that Austin Bishop, Justin Whittle, Jeff Halligan
that don't run Lincoln?
They don't want to run Lincoln. They're going to go to Port. It doesn't matter if they're running together. 20 grand is going to pull them down to Lincoln, right? Like, this is just a weird one. While I wish we were right and that would happen, this just isn't that event. It's a rescheduled event, even though it was planned out. This isn't one where Port goes, hey, let's take a back seat for this. I wish it was that case, but we believe in this 20 grand, right? We know it's going to be big, but I'm okay with it being that way because even that 20 grand where some of those guys are like, hey, I'd rather still go win my weekly Port race and get my Port win. They're okay with it. Like, they're not heartbroken about it.
And Ashley's in the chat here. Hi, Ashley.
I get it.
Long time no see. But she agrees. I agree with JZ. It's not our traditional scheduled time for the race as it was supposed to be in September, remember. Just sucks we won't have Chaser because he has a great chance to win 20,000.
Chase is the one for me that I'm disappointed wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
He would be that guy. I like a lot of those other guys, but I would love to see Chase go race this race.
I think for me, it's a me problem. But like, I wish we could all work together better. That's all.
I think they have been
a lot.
They've gotten better. They've gotten better.
I think they have been getting better. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just racetracks, but series is like just work together better because everyone benefits when that happens. But yeah, I mean, I know it's me being whiny.
I get it because they could just. I get what you're saying. They could just run supers and 305s and still have a good night.
Right. They can have their night that they're gonna get anyway.
But
and let those 410 guys even either have a night off because we race too much, or go to Lincoln. You know what I mean?
But the thing is like, and like what Jay-Z's saying, and what I agree with is there's still probably, even if Port Royal goes dark this week, there's still probably 15 cars that won't go to Lincoln.
No,
at least.
I'm with you. No, you're facts. You're factually correct. It's just it's unfortunate.
Like I said, Chase Dietz is the only one that I'm like, damn, right? Like he's already has a win at Lincoln. He's good at Lincoln. A time trial show, all the things add up for him to be very competitive in that event. That's the one that really like, damn, right? And somebody mentioned Lance. I can't imagine Lance comes to Lincoln. That car's ran Lincoln, and they've supported Speed Week shows at Lincoln over the time. I'm sorry, not that car, but Lance has in the 69K. They'd run Speed Week shows. They run some big shows. I just don't see it with them not running a bunch yet and not being out a lot at Port. That Port seat time probably matters to them for the big shows. So I can't see them running Lincoln. But at the same time, if they announce on Wednesday they're going to run for the Sterner at 20 grand, it also wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm 50-50 on it, but I don't see it this week.
Yep.
You know? And if the weather is supposed to be cold and ugly, maybe they're not coming to Lincoln. I can't see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Santa says, I was thinking the same thing. Jimmy, it goes all the way around. Lincoln is still running during the Kaufman. Some people consider the fair opener a bigger race. Because of the atmosphere and Lincoln still runs on that. So yeah, we know. I get it. So and the thing is, they both got to try to. They're probably fine with like, we're gonna have 410s on the card. We can get 20 cars. And we still got these other divisions, and it's still a good weekly race for us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be 32 cars every week.
Right.
Ideally, you would want that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Ashley did post the winner.
Fine.
Ashley posted the winner of the fan page for the fan package as well.
Hey, go see if you're a winner. Go see if you're a winner.
And we will share that after we get off the air here soon, as we're on over 2 hours again.
God damn it.
We talk too much.
So yeah. So this weekend, real quick. Again, we already talked about in Sterner. Should absolutely get there this weekend. Friday night, Williams Grove. Is this the Hintershits?
Yes.
It's the Hintershits this
8,000 to
week.
win.
8,000 to win, 410s, and street stocks, which will be fun there. Port Royal, like we just were talking about, they have 410s, super late models, 305s. It's also autograph and camera night, so they open up the pits for about an hour before everything. You could go into the pits for free and go get autographs and pictures with any of the drivers. Lincoln Sterner Memorial, that's the big one this weekend. Go support that as well, and it is on Flow Racing. So check that out. And then Selinsgrove Sunday, their season opener finally. Last track here to open. 410s, limited late models, Roadrunners. Should be a good show. Hopefully they get good weather. Hoping at least, they've been getting like 26 410s there last year. I'm hoping that they get about the same here, maybe even more. With it being a Sunday show, we've seen how many cars have come out and supported BAPS. I'm hoping, Selinsgrove really has limited their schedule a little bit more this year. What a bigger, not as much weekly stuff and more just geared to larger shows. So,
real quick. So I already talked about me and Seth Dietrich having a foot race. Tyler Koenig, if you want to race me and Seth Dietrich around a whole racetrack, I'm in, buddy. We'll raise it. All money raised goes to whatever sponsor the winner chooses. Okay? I don't care, whatever race car. Let's make this happen, man. I will foot race you and Seth Dietrich. Your little coward hasn't been here. He's grounded probably still. But it's fine. Come on, Tyler. Let's make it happen.
Hey, I know the winner.
I
know the winner of the draw.
Not the big wheels. Not the big wheels, Brandon. Winner of the draw.
But who's the winner of the draw?
It landed beside the name of Nate Daker. It landed beside Nate.
Oh, that's a problem.
So it's not Nate.
Good.
Thank God.
And it's not Cody Ryder because that was on the other side. Winner is am I going to say it wrong? Algian Bowers.
Okay. Okay.
It looks like the winner there. She just announced it on her page. It's live there. So congratulations to Mr. or Mrs. Bowers. Algian.
And in any case, thank you for tuning into our show.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool. Thank you.
Very cool of Ashley to do that.
Yeah, cool of Ashley to do it. We're huge Ashley Cappetta fans. I mean, we third time she's been on the show. Actually, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is two Sterners and her regular show.
That's the first 3-time guest.
Kyle, she's right there with Kyle Keene and Brett Strickler.
Strickler.
Kyle might have been 3.
I think Strickler was on 3 times as well.
Yeah, but he's also a guest host. Doesn't count.
Yeah,
it's cheating.
By the way, Brandon Zerk, man, hey, appreciate you checking in here tonight. And I saw a lot of comments, Brandon. Appreciate the engagement. I don't think any of the 3 of us have the World of Outlaw game on console or PC. We are all
on the console.
We are all iRacers.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, go ahead.
I have it. I have it. I just don't use it.
Well, that doesn't really answer his question, does it? So we are iRacers, and Chris tried to do it.
I should probably go back to console.
we're iRacing guys. So there are a few guys in our group that runs the console game. I think Troy Wagman's on the console game. Ryan,
I think so. Yeah.
Some buddies of ours, but none of us are on the console.
Listen,
did Ashley Cappetta just make me go to Lincoln to race in a 3-person foot racer on Lincoln? I like number 3. That wasn't in the schedule, but
I do want to see Tyler running.
I'm not.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm not losing to him or Seth. I assure you.
But listen, anybody that is iRacers out there, and you're from Pennsylvania specifically, we do have an iRacing PA Posse League, and we're actively recruiting. So we're on every Tuesday and Thursday nights. Come find us. Shameless plug on the league there, but we are looking for new members, and we're a little biased, and we only really let people in from Pennsylvania because that's all pretty much started here. So,
if you're not Posse, you probably don't win very much.
But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Do any of you guys stream it? No,
we suck, Steph. We suck. No. Okay, we suck.
But
don't stream it.
Hey, maybe we do it on T2T one night. Maybe
like that.
Maybe one night.
We can't stream any of our chats on T2T.
Not the chat, but maybe.
You don't want to see.
You don't want to see. Jay-Z's the only good racer.
Yeah. You don't want to see my Brett Mark Sim team
battling out for like 18th.
I'm falling off the good tier anymore. I'm like average tier in dirt.
But yeah, you're still ahead of Jimmy and I.
My iRacing highlight actually happened a couple weeks ago. I was battling with Troy for 3rd at Williams Grove.
Troy Wagabomb,
my hero. I got the race with him.
I got the race with my hero one time too. It was Dakota Coon. Turns out our setup was we're both trash.
Me and Dakota found a way to wreck each other constantly.
Yeah, Dakota and I set the car same, slow as fuck. So,
all right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Get to the Sterner this weekend if you can. If not, just get to a track this weekend. Go have some fun.
Or share it on your socials.
Forecast. It's gonna be beautiful, 70, sunny. Mwah. It's gonna be great.
Share it on your socials.
Yes.
See you on Thursday.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I go, you're right. Rolling
7 p.m.
Thursday.
Kensley Shear made her debut yesterday. We're going to talk to her about all of that, but she had a tough night, but it's all right. It's day 1. She has talent. She won a micros. She's going to do good. Big things happening for Kensley. 7 p.m. Thursday. Tony Sharp and I are going to talk to Kensley and see what she's all about.
Shout out to BAPS too, because I was walking, getting food and coming back in, and on there, the screen that works, because I know the one in the infield right now isn't working.
Yeah,
on their big board out there. I just see this big Roland Podcast logo on there. So shout out to BAPS for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
look at Chris. Chris is famous. He's got his name out in big neon lights, man.
I'm famous. Troy Wagabomb. The white hat said hi to me.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks, guys. Have a great